and then they reach out to me, right? And then I might start feeling some type of way, like, damn, yo, this is a handsome young man right here. Like, yo, you wanna go out for drinks, you wanna build a relationship. Then I'm gonna feel like, all right, now I got a fucking connection with this kid. I wasn't there for him his whole life. Then I'm gonna feel like a fucking asshole.
But in the moment, you needed that quick money in your pocket, so you did it. You donated.
Oh nah, I'm not. See, Mary asked that's why I said no. I'm not doing that for no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
The bag was better. It's like $500.
Yeah, give me
like
give me 5,000. I'll do it.
Yeah, they sell
like 8 to 10 for women.
They sell the shit for $4,000, but they give you $400.
Yeah, that's wild.
The connection ain't always, you know, a handsome guy. But I mean, a lot of times these guys they're handsome, but they're desperate. They're broke, so it doesn't go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just, if a guy's desperate or not, regardless of what he looks like. I mean, you know,
he could also be a raggedy.
Play a part in it.
He could also be a raggedy nigga. Is raggedy nigga genetic?
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think you at your own risk. Like that, fuck all that. Like, I got so much detail in my search, everything from health history to talent, actual occupation of the person, whether or not they graduated high school, whether or not they went to college. So there's a lot of detail, but you got to go through different cryobanks to find the right one to be able to do that. So in their situation, Mary, you know, maybe the brat and her had to reevaluate some things, but they have what I think is the resources to have done better and have that option to have a black child.
Real quick, do they give you parent history with the donor? Because like I be going to the doctor and they be like, did your dad's side have, you know, diabetes? I mean, nigga, I don't know. Like,
Yep.
I'm supposed to know. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing that was there on his chart was heart disease, and it was on his father's side. So, like, when I tell you that level of detail, it was a fucking process. Word of the day process. It was a process to go through and look person for person for person. Like, I think the search in total was probably like 3 months.
And I think that's where they fool people too. Like, if you look at Obama, if you look at his life and the circumstances that he was born in, and he's definitely not the prototype for what a successful human being will be based on the situation he was born in. Look at Donald Trump, same thing. Look at him literally. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't determine what kids are going to be successful and who's not. And it's just all a big scheme. It's all a big money game. They're playing on the ignorance of the people. You know, you guys mentioned too about the whole 18-year-old thing. You know, there's an extra fee that you have to pay in order to figure out whether you have access to the father or not. If you don't pay that fee, then there's no guaranteed access to the father.
This shit boring me now. Fuck all that. You can understand people in the building. This might be risky. Episode 83 was good. Bob, what up?
What's popping? I'm here, baby.
Everything's everything. Mr. White was good.
Yo, what's good?
Hey, shit, man. That mic sound nice. Chief was good.
What's happening, my people? Hamp, how you be?
Regular, bro. You sneezing and shit, you all right?
I'm great, baby.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Never mind. I ain't gonna say no.
I know where you're going with it. Damn the jokes, B. Damn them.
Honey, what up, though?
All good. What's good?
Yes, sir. Mary, what up, though?
What's up?
Everything's everything. Q was good.
Ain't shit. You see what the fuck going on? Shout out to Alex. You know what I mean?
Shit like that.
Hey, Q, when your next show?
21st of this month. Following that, I got something else coming up on the 27th. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at @comedian_Q Turner, and follow me on Facebook or friend me on Facebook. I fuck with you the long way if you friend me on Facebook, comedian Q Turner.
Indeed, love was good.
Hey, it's been a minute. What's going on?
Yeah, no doubt. We saw you yesterday.
Wednesday's been a minute, sir.
Okay.
Wednesday. It's a whole different ballgame on Wednesdays. You already know.
Goddamn right. Ms. Nay, welcome back to Wednesday. What up?
What's up, y'all?
How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's what's up. Alex,
Hey y'all. Hey Hamp.
what's good though?
Same old, same old.
Indeed, indeed. Look, man, this topic, I was thinking a lot about it. Shout out to Mary for kind of introducing it. I did most of the work, but she did post the initial question. So I want to give her some type of credit.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like
She
that.
literally
like
said,
that,
Hamp
like
can
that.
figure it out, but here's the thing. So it's all good. It's all good. All right. So what we exploring today, Mary?
So we exploring parenting and the options to be parents and just how it can go.
You thought it was, I make it look easy, don't I? When I introduce the topic.
Right. Let's get to the first question.
All right, yeah. So I framed it the consequences of having kids today. A lot of shit going on in this world. The conversation we were just having, Gunny was expounding on different fees and sperm donors and how to vet, so on and so forth. Q said it took 3 months to find a viable donor. The brat went with a white dude.
Wow.
And she was 46. I don't know what else she manufactured. You know what I mean?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit
Well,
like
it is
that.
what it
Shit
is.
like that. Shit like that.
I got a video to start with. Give me a second. Give me a second. Y'all good? Y'all ready? Y'all drinking? What y'all doing?
I'm ready. I ain't drinking though.
I'm
Let's
ready.
get it.
Nay. Slow down now. I'll tell you that now. Golly, Nay was talking so much yesterday.
You should be happy I was talking.
Huh?
You should be happy I was talking. I usually don't
Why?
talk as much. Because I usually don't talk as much. I was going in yesterday. I had fun.
Nay, stop. Before I rewind the tape.
Okay, go ahead, Hamp.
You be talking, ad-libbing, and talking. Q, I'm bugging.
Yeah. Listen, don't start no shit you can't clean up. You know what I mean?
I'm just asking.
You trying to start shit in the house.
Because he got mad kids. Fuck out of here.
Come on, man. Fuck them kids, man. All right, give me a second. I'm trying to find this shit. Gunny, you got kids?
Yeah, I got 3, man. 3.
Damn. A lot of damn kids.
No, man.
I'm trying to get this video up. Hold on. Because this is necessary for sure. Hold on. I think I got it. There we go. All right. Give me a second. I'm almost there. All right.
Dead air for the pod.
With the deadbeat
I know
father.
that.
Y'all don't do nothing. Y'all just sit there. That's all. Let me do all the work like usual.
That's Gunny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, let me know when y'all can see the screen.
From spending time
We
with
can
their
see it.
children.
It's low, but we can see it.
We can see Gunny
Now, don't
beard.
get me wrong. Deadbeat fathers exist. They do. But there's a group of men in our society that get lumped in with the deadbeat fathers because of deadbeat mothers. Deadbeat mothers will never admit to being deadbeat mothers. They use strategies and tactics to prevent the father in any way that they can from spending time with their children, from talking to their children, from being involved in their events. And they're very clever. And they use the children as pawns to get back at the father for whatever reason. Maybe they're upset about the relationship being over. Maybe they're upset about the man moving on and finding a new woman. But for whatever reason, a lot of these women exist and they're kind of hiding in the bushes. But it's time to start calling them out because it's a lot of them out there in all races who use the children as pawns to get back at the father of the children. Now, don't get me wrong. Deadbeat fathers exist. They do. But there's a group of men.
So could y'all hear most of the sentiments?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bub, what you think?
Hey yo, shout out to Gunny, man. He bodied that shit. Word. Just off top. I mean, I don't have any experience in that in that feel the situation, but I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? And Gunny was hitting all the major points. Yeah, there are a lot of bitter ass women out there that stay using their kids against, the fathers or what have you. And at the end of the day, the only thing that does is, put the kids in a tight spot. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair to the kids. Kids ain't asked to be here. How you gonna try to keep a kid away from their father based off some bitter shit you going through with the father? You know what I'm saying? Just like Gunny said, oh, you gonna be mad at him because he got a new shorty now? All right, well, it ain't work out for y'all two. Okay, move on. Go get you something new. Don't be bitter. Don't try to keep the kids away from this man. You know what I'm saying? All you
Yeah.
doing is fucking up the family dynamic. That's it.
Word. Love, what you think? Deadbeat mothers.
I mean, what he said, it does occur. Yeah, I mean, that's a new title or new spin on the definition of a deadbeat mother, of them keeping them from their fathers. But it's a deplorable thing to do. And unfortunately, a lot of bitter women are out there that try to keep their kids from the father or try to turn the kids against the father, like maybe not physically so you can't see them, but mentally, which I think is also mental abuse too. If you purposely defame the father to the children, I think that's just a horrible thing to do. And it always more than likely turns around against her and bites her in the butt as a child gets older, if he's a loving father and really there.
Mary, do you think that this is gonna be a tough question, it's probably unfair. Do you think these so-called deadbeat fathers are being actually produced by these deadbeat mothers from Gunny's definition? Or you think these niggas just really ain't shit?
So of course a portion of niggas really ain't shit, but overall, like in regards to what Gunny was saying, not even just not letting them see their child, but I've seen situations where the deadbeat mothers are doing the bare minimum and then want to attack the fathers for not doing more. So you can live off the government, get food stamps, and only make $12 an hour, and then curse me out for not paying more in child support or not, tying up them loose ends that you got. So it's her being a deadbeat mother, but then making it seem like he's the deadbeat father when really you could be doing just as much as him.
Do you think there's more of that going on than we assume?
Absolutely.
Q, what's your thoughts?
Fuck Gunny's 2 cents. Nah. What you basically described is like the female narcissist. I definitely have had experience with the bitter baby mama, deadbeat mom type person. And it does exist. And it's unfortunate because the child isn't even considered at all in any of the actions that are taken on that mom's part. I think something that doesn't get addressed enough is the moms who like to drop the kids off at friends and grandma's house and all this other shit, but then want to talk shit when the kid is getting close to the new girl that the father has. That it's like, okay, but he may be working and he's being responsible. You trying to be petty over some shit because it's a chick you don't, you know what I mean? You feeling like you might be replaced or something small, but yeah, but you're basically a deadbeat mom. Why the fuck when you have the kids, you not with the kids? So it's definitely a thing. I'm glad you added your 2 cents to that, Gunny, and I think there needs to be more light shed on that shit.
No doubt.
Anybody have a contrary thought? Different of opinion? Or these deadbeat mothers is really, really running this shit? Because I've seen it.
I kind of have a contrary thought to it. The fact that we're I know I made the video, but the fact that it's not a contrary thought, but the fact that we're talking about it in general, the question is like, why is this thing so taboo to talk about? There has to be a reason why this huge problem, especially in our community, we're all Black here, especially in our community, why is it so taboo to talk about? Obviously, to the point where women are incentivized for this type of behavior. Because they wouldn't be incentivized if they didn't have a leg up on men. And the question is, you know, we're brave enough to talk about it and just tell the truth and you know, say exactly what we see. But the general society, and this is across all races, it's almost taboo. And the question is why?
Because
I know. Yeah, we talked about it before. Exactly. People pedestalize women for birthing children.
Exactly.
Like, and I'm like, why? The kid is who their father is.
Wait,
Fact.
so I got a question. I got a quick question. So
Go ahead.
are we saying there are more deadbeat mothers or more deadbeat fathers?
Well, we don't know. We don't know, and I think that it's impossible
Nah,
to
you gotta
figure
pick a
out.
side, Benny. Nah, you gotta pick a side. You gotta pick one.
What you think? What you think, Donnie? If you had to
What you
speculate,
think? Yeah.
If I had to speculate, man, I would say more deadbeat mothers. Honestly, I would say more deadbeat mothers.
I disagree.
And here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. And I want to explain why it's very difficult to explain. I'm not trying to play both sides, but it's very difficult to look at statistics and then tie statistics to certain things in our community. But if you really look at statistics, for one, you know, a lot of these problems that we have as far as our young people, they come from single parent households. So the single parent households are from single mother households. So we can tie the statistics to single mothers. But then at the same time, there are a lot of problems that we have with our men being incarcerated, our men being out of the homes. So the dynamics of why our men are out of the homes, it's case by case basis. So I just think that it's a huge it's a huge problem, and it's really difficult to pick one, man. But if I had to pick one, I would pick the mothers for sure. Because these kids running around in Chicago, they ain't got no fathers in the home. Hands down, they don't.
I feel like it is more deadbeat mothers, but I feel like it's just covered up by the resources that are available to mothers, because, you know, majority of the time the child does live with the mother. So the resources that are available, the government assistance, the food stamps and all that, it makes it easier to look like a mother is doing her job, when in reality, everything that she's getting is free. She's not working for it. So
right. And just like I said, she's incentivized. She's incentivized by the government to continue her dependence on the government.
And then you choose
She's
to have more
incentivized.
babies. I feel like that's a deadbeat act, to choose to have more babies when you already can't provide and you're already on assistance for these other children. And then you choose to create more children, because ultimately having children is up to women. You get what I'm saying? So then you're going ahead and saying, you know, like people love to talk about, oh, that nigga got 7 kids, that nigga got 8 kids. Yeah, but that sorry ass nigga, 4 kids is from one baby mother that chose to keep having kids by this sorry ass nigga. You get what I'm saying?
But it's the perception though, Mary. Is she really a deadbeat? Is she really a deadbeat mother though? If all the kids are underneath her roof,
you can still be a deadbeat parent.
I understand that, but the perspective of the way society is looking at it, if the father's not in the house and if he's not around, he's going to be called the deadbeat father. She's not going to be called the deadbeat mother. That's why I said I disagree. It don't matter if it doesn't matter if it's true or false. It's the perspective of the way society's looking at it. Oh, this motherfucker ain't never around on birthdays, not knowing that his baby mother won't allow him to be around on birthdays.
But that's what Donnie said,
like,
though.
Realistically, that's why the question was more so realistically, what do you think there is more of, deadbeat mothers or deadbeat fathers?
Yeah.
So realistically, there's more deadbeat mothers.
Because if you in Gunny's video, he was saying that the children are being weaponized, and so the perception is one thing, but the reality is what we speculating on.
The men actually get the men that are trying and out there trying to be active in the lives of their children. They get lumped into this because of the perspective, just like you said, above, just like you said, as far as the perspective and how people look at it. They get lumped into this category because they're not around. But case by case basis, why are they not around? You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to pinpoint, man. And ultimately, I think that we just have to go to the statistics, and the most people that are locked up, the most people that commit violent crimes, all these types of human beings, male or female, they all come from single parent households that are led by women.
Yeah.
So to tap into that, so I was just that's kind of the point I was gonna say, Gunny. A lot of the statistics will say X child didn't achieve this because they came from single parent household that primarily with the mom, but there's no real quantification for the shitty parenting done by the mom. You dig what I'm saying? Like I was raised in a single parent household by my mom. I think she did a damn good job, and most moms are capable of doing damn good jobs, but they don't talk. There's no way to quantify the ones who have to just fucking it up for everybody else. So not only are we getting the blame for not being there, which, you know, rightfully so, but there's also shitty parenting done on that part. I don't know if we want to call it deadbeat parenting, but it's poor parenting that has a lot of these kids in these situations that they, you know, could not have been in if the parent was good, or if dad was around. But we don't get the credit for, I mean, we take the blunt of not being there and the shitty mom.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? So I think to your point, I do think a lot of it might just be more shitty moms and dads.
Yeah. I have to find the stats, but I played a video before. It was saying that the results of a child coming from a father-only home are almost the same as a child coming from a dual-parent household.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, but while we on the topic, fuck them kids.
Yeah,
yeah, but most men are not have full custody of their kids too. Like we're not about to act like that. Like they like, oh, give me the baby myself. Most men are not volunteering for that in that situation.
I don't know. I don't know if they are volunteering for it, but if, you know, push come to shove, they handle it with open arms. You know what I'm saying? But another thing too, a lot of dudes ain't willing to fight. And and I'll tell you like this, by no means am I willing to belittle, to vilify the mother of my child. But we had an issue, you know, in the beginning, toxic shit in the beginning. That's not, you know, this is how it happens in the beginning. We just learned it, just our first baby, whatever. We had a little turmoil, and I'm like, I'm going to court. Listen, I want my daughter half the time. I don't give a fuck what you got to pay her, what it looks like. I want my daughter half the time. And I'm not leaving here until I have her half the time. And the moderator comes back with like a 75-25 square. I'm like, fam, did you not hear what I just said? Like, pay her what you got to pay her. I'm not leaving here until I have half the time with my baby. Dudes ain't willing to fight like that. They worried about how much they got to cough about their check and yada, yada, yada. And yeah, it's kicking on my ass. But at the end of the day, my baby's what's important. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes ain't willing to fight like that.
And that just furthers the point about deadbeat mothers. That's some deadbeat shit that you had to from her. And just based on what you said, the fact that you had to pay to have your daughter, the rights that you should already be privy to.
You know what? What's crazy is I might have put myself in that bind by just saying that, because I thought I knew the game back then, and I just went and like, listen, bro, I don't care what you got to do, but I'm not leaving here unless I got 50-50. If I got to pay her whatever you got to pay. Take what you got to take, sign me up, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I could have just walked myself into that
court, Chief. You in court. Think about that though. Think about the fact that they took the advantage that you said, I'll do whatever I need to do, because that's all you said.
Nigga, they don't care.
Well, what I'm saying is, don't say you put yourself in a bind. Out of desperation, people say things. That's usually why we need a lawyer. But what I'm saying is, that's a fucking shame that she took that and said, okay, give me this much bread and he can have a baby 50% of the time. That's crazy.
Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
So then, how does it equate when the situations are different now? And from personal experience, you know, homie of mine, like, has his daughter 85% of the time, has never denied mom any type of bread, pays her X amount of dollars a week, went back to court to get it reduced, had gotten a increase in, you know, an advance in the salary over the yearly raise. Judge was like, nah, bro, you know, so and so, does he have her 75% of the time? Like, yeah. Like when he asks you for money, when you ask him for money, to give it to you, yeah. Okay, well, Mr. So and so, I see that you have now got an increase in your salary this year, so unfortunately, we're going to raise your child support another $182.
Nah, somebody got to die.
The judge, a woman.
That's what Hemp is saying. It's not fair. Like the judicial system should have did better with that. Like that's what he's saying. Like it's not
smoked
fair.
Them.
Court
yo, fam,
that's sick, bro.
Fam, smoked them.
Chief,
another 182 on it.
You didn't ask for 50-50 shared custody, because when you have 50-50 shared custody, there's no child support orders.
They don't care.
Nah,
I have documentation stating I have 50-50 shared custody. They still smoking my check every 2 weeks.
Yo, that shit is ill, my nigga.
But that's the same with my husband. My husband has 50-50 custody and he's still paying child support, and he still pay more than child support. Like he supplies everything for this kid throughout the year.
How about
because
how
the
about
word
this?
shared custody is a smokescreen. That's all
How
it
about
is.
this?
It's a smokescreen. It's not really shared. That's a lie. It's one of those things where they say the word shared, but the ratio is 7-1 in regards to the hours that you're going to spend with your children. You have shared custody, but you get your child first, third, and fifth weekend 1 month out of the year. When you add the hours up, it's 7-1. Is that fair? No, it's not.
I have that.
But they call it shared.
No, I'm talking about shared more so where if you're more in the same town, then you can have the shared custody because the child can go to the school in that particular town. But usually what you're talking about, that's more joint legal. And then you have a primary residence. And then you have, because I have that. I have full custody of one and I have a joint custody. And this man is the bit of baby mama. And he has more than me. So.
Miss T85 in the $2 super chat. The system allows this! Exclamation. 50-50 is automatic.
50-50 is not automatic.
No, it's not.
You gotta fight.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you gotta ask.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
From personal experience, when I went with my baby was really, really young. Again, just my immaturity at the time. I couldn't make it work with my lady, whatever. But I went when my baby was young, and I'll tell you like this: for the first year of my daughter's life, I had her like Tuesday, Thursday from 3 to 8, and then Saturday at Saturday at like 3 until Sunday at like 8 for the first year of her life. And then after when she turned 1, I was able to get her 50-50 because the mother, nurturing and so on and so forth. So that 50-50 shit is a fucking lie.
Sick. Mike Brown with a $2 super chat. Child support is the devil and it never goes down. God damn, boy.
Bruh.
This shit crazy. Q, you about to tell a story? I want to hear it.
Yeah, no, I was about to say I pay more child support than most people. Just by like I've shared the number with certain people and they're like, wow, you pay that much for one child? Yes, that much for one child. But I don't have legal or physical custody of my son, and I pay child support for him. So the system is fucked up.
And he's not even biologically yours.
And he's not biologically mine. So I reached out to somebody and that was like my position. I'm like, well, I wanted to allow her to have the child that she was fighting me for like crazy in court based on her position and her beliefs, whatever, the reason she wanted to dissolve the marriage. And I said, all I wanted to do was move forward with my life. So now they're like, well, you signed documents that said you are the parent, even though you're not the paternal parent. So it's like they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah,
it don't make
money grab, yo.
Yeah,
it's a money grab. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But the mothers.
Let me read the super chat real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Miss T85 with a $2 super chat. The system needs to change, is what I'm saying. Okay. So you're saying that it should be automatic. You left out your prepositions. We had to guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Q. And then final thoughts on this one.
The moms, to me, do have that responsibility. Or even if you're in like Miss Nay's position where there's a guy coming at you for child support, they do have the position to be able to assist or, do whatever they can to kind of lighten the severity of it. This is some evil fucking women out there. And I think that what Gunny did was like, you set that fire, and I appreciate it because I don't feel like this gets talked about enough. Yeah. And the position that I ended up being put in court had me be able to relate to men. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. That imagine if I did carry this child and shared blood with him, I would be losing my fucking mind. So I empathize with so many men who get those restrictions, and you have to take so much money out of your lifestyle to be able to take care of a child that that money really isn't going towards them in the way they should.
People don't understand the pain that comes with that. Q, I bullshit you not, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. My brother's funeral and the day I left that courtroom, top 2 worst days of my life.
Fucking
dead ass serious.
Yeah, that shit is. Yo, man, I want to move on, but this shit is so heartfelt because niggas, the shit I was doing in DC for my oldest daughter, bro. Breaking down doors, running up on niggas in the worst parts of the city, cause she thought I'm playing. I'm not playing, and I'm only 25. You think you're a superhero? Man, yo, this shit crazy, man. Damn, man. I done had a point, man. These black women, I ain't never mind.
Put him in the fucking bed. Get him out of
Add
here.
that black part. You did not have to add that black part.
I mean, I ain't gonna do it. 'Cause I know you Puerto Rican, Mary. So I ain't talking. I ain't halfway talking about you. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel most. Share the stream. This one is getting deep, man. I could feel it. Well, at least that first one was. Shout out to Gunny for the video. He sent it to me 7 goddamn times. I had no choice but to use it. You know what I mean?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
I had to find a way to fit it in there, but it worked. All right. So y'all see how the world's going, man. Let me ask a clarifying question. If up is good and down is bad, right, Bub?
Mm-hmm.
Is the U.S. going up or down?
Definitely going down.
Mr. White?
Down.
Chief?
Down.
Gunny?
Down.
Mary?
Down.
Q?
I have to say down.
Damn. Love?
Down.
Nay?
Down.
Alex?
Down.
You made me pick a side.
Shit like
man.
that. Shit like that.
Huh?
Shit like that.
I said you made me pick a side, man. But I try to swear to God, I try to believe, like, live, the positive mindset and shit. I'm trying to give us some grace, but that's why my down was so depressing.
We ain't saying that there aren't some positive things happening, but we see what's going on, man. So, if you could rewind time, knowing what you know now, will you bring I put kids, I should have put child. Would you bring kids into this world? Knowing what you know now, and you could go back 20 years. Some of y'all got old ass kids, 30 years. Would you bring kids into this world, man? God damn. Mr. White, go ahead. Your nose running, nigga?
Nah, that was a goodie though. Nah, my joint good. That was a goodie though.
All right.
Damn.
Knowing what you know now, bro. Now, let me just be honest. You know how much they cost. You know all of that stuff too. So it's not the world, but inflation, all that, and you can go back 20 years.
All right, so damn. I probably would have still had one and just got the surgery after.
That 18-minute surgery is a life changer, ain't it?
Surgery, yeah. But I say that because because if I lost the rest of them, I would have never had the love for them. Cool, but just the relationship and bond and the legacy and watching them grow and develop. That's something you can't put a price on too. So I would hate to experience it, especially working with a lot of men who are older and who don't have kids and women who don't have it, who don't have children, right? Like that's a huge, huge void. So I wouldn't want to miss out on the experience of being a parent, but I probably would have got snipped up after one.
Yeah. Damn. Miss Nay, knowing what you know now, would you still bring kids into this world?
Absolutely. I love being a mom. I actually want another one. I'm not going to lie. Because I look at it like our children, granted, these children are a little off sometimes, but I feel like my children can affect change. Maybe the things that I didn't get to do, they're on the cusp of being able to do it. So I love having kids. I would. I think I'd be a little bit more financially stable, but I love having kids. So yes.
So through all your journey, you still would say, yeah.
Yeah, my kids are part of my journey. So I think that I wouldn't have experienced some of the things that I did had I not had kids. So yeah, I still would have.
You think they made your journey more difficult?
I think they made me stronger in a sense. So yeah, but it made me stronger. It built me. So yeah, I still would. I love having kids.
Question: do you think the kids make your journey more difficult?
No, not really. I don't think they make my journey difficult. They just made me stronger. There was a lot of struggle in there, but it made me stronger. It made me fight more.
Okay. So struggle shows a level of difficulty. We're not saying difficulty is bad. It's just difficult.
Yeah,
but you say no.
Difficult,
I
bad.
still would have had my kids though. I would still do it regardless. I would still do it all over again.
Okay. All right. Cool. Gunny, what you think?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't change a thing. Is the country going in the wrong direction? Yeah, it's going in the wrong direction. But it is what it is. we live in the greatest country on earth. So, the things that we complain about, other countries don't even have the luxury of complaining about it. So I think that ultimately, it's we have some things that we need to fix, but I wouldn't change a thing. Did my children make my life more difficult? Yeah. But my workout this morning was difficult, but I improved because of it. So,
Yeah, I guess. But if you don't work out, right, it doesn't starve to death. You know what I mean? So, but I catch your drift though. I don't want to shit on your point. Go ahead, love.
So to be very honest, and I don't want this to be misconstrued. Hope my son's not watching this. He doesn't misunderstand what I'm saying. I love him with everything in me, but if I probably wouldn't bring kids into this world only because he's a Black man, and I worry about him every day.
Yeah,
and it's a scary place for him. And I never thought this level of worry even existed when I was carrying him. It was nothing but love and fairy tales and pixie dust. Him being a grown man, it is, even him growing up as a teenager, it's just a scary thing. And raising kids is hard. Hard. And you never stop. Well, put it this way, I have never stopped being concerned for him and worrying about him. Grown man on his own for a long time. But that level of concern for him has not changed. If anything, it might get, I don't express it to him because he gets annoyed, but it gets worse as I see society. Now I got to worry about, his kids. He doesn't have any kids, but that's another concern I'm gonna have, not just your kids, but your grandkids and, nieces and nephews. But yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I don't think that I would, even though he's here. I love him. I want to send him back. So I don't want that to be misconstrued.
Yeah.
But it's a very, I would reconsider.
Okay. You got a question for her, Gunny?
Yeah. What's the concern? Because he's a Black man. That's what I want to ask. Like, why is that a concern? Because he's a Black man.
Go ahead.
I mean, the things that you all talk. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't ask me that question. So, being a Black man in America is a very scary place. There's police brutality. There's being stopped because you're Black. It's like the society is against the Black man. And it's just a scary place. I want him to but beyond that, I always want the best for him. You can't control anybody. And so when you see your kids making bad decisions, that's another concern for me too. Like, no, go left. Don't go right. But I can't do that. I mean, that's just who I am as a person. Like, I guess I might be a natural warrior. Not warrior. I'm a natural warrior too. But I just think being a Black man in America is a scary place, and I just am very concerned for him.
So if I could ask you this question, you said that police brutality was the first thing that you named.
That was one of the things that is concerning. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and that was the first thing that you named. But you do know that 89% of Black men are killed by other Black men,
that's
right? Like other
too.
Black.
That's a concern too. So,
but why wasn't that your first concern?
That's silly. I don't know. Let me ask silly. I don't know why you're asking me that question on why that wasn't the number one thing I said. The point is, I'm concerned about his well-being. Period. I gave that as an example. It was not doing the law of first mention. That is not relevant here.
But why was that the first example? Was that because that was the most important?
Nope, just told you it was just an example I gave. The law of first mention is not applicable here. There's other reasons.
Okay. So there's no order in why you're scared. Why you're afraid that your son is out here facing different things in the world. That police shootings and police killings. That was just the first thing that just kind of popped into your mind, just out of coincidence. Because I have a son too. I have two sons, and I'm not afraid that they're going to be shot down by the police. I'm not afraid that they're going to be taken out by police brutality, I'm afraid that they're going to meet another black person because the statistics prove.
Okay.
So I'm just curious just to understand your way of thinking.
And I've explained it. There's numerous concerns. I gave an example of that one. There's there's plenty of other ones. It was just trying to move the conversation along and be very concise, as Hamp always wants me to be. And so I was trying to be concise and just giving one example. But I did say there's numerous concerns. And so I'm surprised Hamp's letting this go on as long as he is. But we can talk some more about it. I mean, there's lots of
now when I start, God damn, just fucking talk.
I did.
I'll let y'all know when I get bored. When I get bored with y'all being redundant, I'll cut it off.
I mean, but okay, I'm bored then. How about that?
God
Because I
damn.
think it's a crazy question. You gonna keep on talking on Hamp?
No, stop, please. Q.
Yep.
Knowing what you know now.
Yes, I absolutely would. I would have just chosen differently.
Like the person?
Yeah.
You think that like the deciding factor?
Yeah, because that has been one of my biggest regrets is that I had my son with the person that I had him with. And it's unfortunate for him because he had to suffer through a lot of that shit, unfortunately. So yeah, I just chose it.
So anybody else say no?
I'm happy you said that shit, Q.
Oh, my bad.
I'm happy you said that. Now I'm happy Q sat here and said she wished she could have chose another person to have a child with. And a lot of people don't be saying that, and they need to say that shit too. You got to be more disciplined when you having sex with people. Word up. I know I might sound like a fucking old man or teacher, whatever, teaching sex ed, but you got to be more disciplined when you get between them sheets, or you run into situations like what Q talking about right now. Dead ass.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with her. Good shit, cute. I just want to get Alex. So
I
you don't got no.
What were you saying here?
Well, you don't got no goddamn kids. So what you think?
I don't have any kids yet. And that's just by choice.
Yeah.
But I think, and I do want to be a mother eventually, but I think on this conversation, I love what Bub said, being mindful of who you have your kids with. I always hear parents say, I love my kid, I love my kid, I love my kid. But would the experience have been different for you if you were more selective with your partner? If you honed in on those red flags that were there initially, didn't take care of one, or he wasn't financially stable at that particular point in time, there's so many methods to prevent, and I don't want to be the sex education person here, but there's so many methods to prevent you from having sex. Like, not having sex, from having children. Like, why choose the struggle? And granted, there's things that happen in the world, it's not safe to go to the grocery store, or to church, or bring your kids to school. Like, that's something that would be of a concern to me. But I know for me, I wanted to make sure that I was financially stable. I'm fortunate enough that I'm in a situation where right now I've been with my husband for years, and we know, okay, like, we want to be parents. So I was fortunate enough to be able to pick my partner and also to wait, because I was product of a single parent family and we didn't have money. There was a lot of struggles. I made a decision a long time ago that that's not something that I ever wanted to experience. So when I see my friends going through it, my empathy only goes but so far, because you chose that person.
Mm-hmm. Word. Go ahead, Mary.
I think I'm kind of with Adrian on the part of having one kid. But honestly, if I did have the one kid, I wish I would have had my children earlier. So I didn't have my first child until I was like 26, 27 years old. So I feel like,
What's wrong with that, Mary?
I feel like a lot of the things that I have to teach my small children now wouldn't have even been questions to them back then. Things that I can barely explain, like men that look like women, women that look like men. Like, I wouldn't have had to done that had I had my children earlier, say like most people I know straight out of high school. You know what I'm saying?
I see,
13, I'm saying like 17, 18, 19, years old.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like having to have older children now, it's easier to kind of explain what's going on around them.
But you would have struggled at that age, though. 26, 27 is a good age.
And it is, but I'm saying with the way society is now, There's a lot of extra shit
Prep.
that I have to do now versus what I would have had to do had I had them younger. So explaining things to an 8, a 10-year-old, now especially boys, it gets complicated because not even I have the answers for them.
Okay, I see you still like in terms of just focusing right on the kid. You'd be able to prep them better if they were older.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, but your life would have been a lot harder because we are less settled at 17. You know what I mean?
Right. It would have been harder, but I mean, kids are always going to be hard, especially when you never had one before.
But money make a difference.
Definitely.
Let me read this super chat real quick. That's cute. Women still leaving marriages and choosing single motherhood. It matters, but we don't know these chicks going RTO, use the kids as pawns 10 years from now. Guess he's saying you could vet and get married, but he's saying I guess the chicks still just be bugging out. And you try to do all the vetting you can, but then they hit you with a honey bun, I guess. Mike, let me know if that's what you're saying. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, he's saying that you don't know how they're going to act 10 years from now, which is true. Babies change people.
So he's talking about
be perfect, and then they have a child, and it's their first child, everybody's first child, and then everybody up shit's creek because it's everybody's first child. Nobody know what to do, so everybody trying to run.
Who want the final thought on this bad boy?
I'll take it. I wanted to tap onto just what Love said. She, it's a different level of worry with these kids, but I also think it's a different level of love. Like I didn't read I know all of us have looked into our kids' eyes and been like, it's like you almost feel insane for loving this person so much. You dig what I'm saying? So it introduced me to a different type of, a different type of love. I still have the same worries you have, but like I look at these kids and it's, it's just the way it makes me feel. And to Mary's point about the extra shit, I think it's all relative to the time, Mary. Like I'm sure our parents had those same fucking, those same like, I gotta, I wish I had them early, so I don't gotta, whatever was the height, at the heights in their upbringing, and when we were in that phase, they had that same like, I wouldn't have to have taught this extra shit is gonna continue. I guess your kids are gonna have the same extra shit. It's just gonna be a different level, when they get to that point. So that's all.
Yeah. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. Definitely hit all the links in the description. We got merch, we got the podcast, all that good shit. All right. Let me ask this plain out. As you know, correct me if I'm wrong. In China, they're trying to incentivize people to have children. I even think our birthing rate is down here in the US. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. So I think it might be an issue for certain people. I don't know if it's everybody. I feel like our Latino brothers and sisters are reproducing at a pretty high rate. I could be wrong. I'm just stereotyping. But we don't do a bad job either, but whatever. So, but we have rights to do so. China incentivized. Remember before you could only have one in China. Then I think it was like 2, then it got up to 3. But does everyone deserve the right to have children? Does everyone deserve this right? As we know, most black children die at the abortion clinic every year. A lot of women that had an abortion had 2 or more. Does everyone deserve the right to have children? Anybody could jump in.
No.
Yes.
Hell no.
No.
Yes.
Not everybody's fit to be a mom. Not everybody's fit to be a dad. That's why
some people don't know they're fit until it happens. People don't know they're fit until it happens. You could look at somebody and think they're going to be completely fit, and that child get here and they not fit.
Yo, no, man. Mary, I'm sorry, no.
Why not though, Bob?
All right. You want drug addicts to have kids?
No.
Well,
Absolutely not.
I know people that have been recovered from their drug habits because they have gotten pregnant and had kids.
Huh?
It happens.
Mary, that was losing Isaiah. That was fiction.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Listen, children change. You should have that. The only thing I don't believe in people having an option is these sociopaths, these pedophiles, them motherfuckers right there. Okay? Like, no.
But that would be
course not.
including everyone. So
But-
that means no.
I'm kind of with Mary. I think everyone does.
Because you have the option to change. So
No.
you believe you should have had kids when you had them?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like
But
that.
you still had them, right? You still had them, right? And it
Yeah,
made you look at life differently. It made you
I
look at life
did.
differently. You got your shit together, didn't you?
Did I get my shit together?
Did you get your shit together?
But everybody's not going to be like that.
To a certain extent, of course.
Okay, so I'm saying give people that
But
option.
nah, no, because they don't deserve that option, Mary.
That's
Because
what
when people,
DCF is for. Take them motherfuckers back.
okay, we wouldn't need DCF if it wasn't for these motherfuckers.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
You got people just having kids just to have them and letting other people take care of them. Don't nobody want to raise their badass kids that's gonna be having all these problems now that they got abandonment issues from mommy or daddy.
Hell yeah.
We bringing broken children into this world, man. That ain't right.
I don't disagree with that.
For the people,
That's
but
exactly
for
what
the
Gunny was
people
talking
that
about,
do-
deadbeat mothers.
I'm saying there's people that do change. There is people that do change.
But that majority is small. I mean, yes, in theory, you would think that having a child is supposed to mature you, right? But the key word is supposed. To Bub's point, there are people who are drug addicts. There are people who are rapists. There are people who are just going to be bums of society. They don't need kids. And it seems to be those are always the ones who are just popping out kids left and right. You don't need no more kids. And then they end up in Isha has to come to their house and come and take them away. Yes.
Shout out to Isha.
Because their parents were unfit. And then you just have a continued cycle and a continued generation of misfits. Like it's just everyone doesn't deserve to have children.
Yeah.
How many times I've seen somebody online that already got like 5 kids, right? Now they like 38 years old.
But
they
you said
online.
they have a
They
right to
online.
have kids.
Yeah, so-
But hold on, Pete. Let me
Said
finish.
right.
Pete, they online again talking about some. Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm about to have a baby shower. You was just crying last month about food stamps. You was just crying last month about the fucking price of groceries. You was just crying last month about your 3rd baby daddy not being shit. But now you having another kid at 38 and you having a baby shower for him.
But there's a right, and then there's people that are not deserving. There's
Yeah,
a
so-
right to have kids, but then there's people that are not deserving.
I'm kind of going it from Mary's point.
Right.
From Mary's point, like everyone I think deserves the right to. Should these motherfuckers have babies? Absolutely not. But I think you deserve the right to have a child. Should you? Probably not.
A human being, Chief.
What do you mean? They don't have the right to have a child?
But
Some of
you're
these
talking
motherfuckers
about-
should not have child. Absolutely should have children. No.
But Chief, you're saying a human being. Everybody deserves the right to birth a human being. And then what happens with said human being?
No, I don't disagree with any of that. I'm just talking about the right to these motherfuckers that are in those situations, the crazies, the pedophiles, the drug addicts, all that. No, they don't deserve to have children, but they deserve the right to have children.
Let me ask, how many Subway sandwiches? Hold on, Gunny. Let me ask him a couple questions. How many Subway sandwiches did you eat before you found out Jared was a goddamn pedophile?
The fuck that guy did?
You would have let Jared watch your kid. Jared was nice. He was smiling. He was getting in shape. That nigga was fucking them kids up in the wrong way, man.
What that got to do with the?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Y'all talking about pedophiles shouldn't have kids. How do you know? Everybody does not deserve the right.
But to her point, though, we don't know. You don't know that the drug addict's gonna turn around and get his life together when he have a baby. We don't know that.
He ain't.
So it's never happened.
Are you saying like never ever?
No, I'm just saying you act like you saying he ain't like it's like a definitive answer.
You want me to? You think that you're gonna use an outlier as proof?
This is so people don't deserve to have children.
No, bro.
Okay, well then we agree to disagree, nigga. That's all that is. Shit. You got your stance, I got
Shit like
mine.
that. Shit like that.
You
Shit like
bugging.
that.
That's all I'm telling you.
Listen, because you don't agree with me don't mean I'm wrong.
Hat tight as a motherfucker. Go ahead,
I
Gunny.
mean, say what you want to say, B.
Now, who would decide though? That's the question. Like, who would decide whether you're worthy of having children or not? Ultimately, it would be the government, right?
Not the only person that can decide is the goddamn woman, because she's the one that's gonna be pregnant. You know, the man don't got no say so. Government don't got no say so.
Right.
As soon as that sperm hit that egg, and she say, "Listen, I'm having this kid." It is what it is. It don't matter what you say.
The
What the
government
government say.
does have say so as of
Listen, that woman
last
gonna
year.
have that kid, Mary, and you know that.
But I'm saying the government does have say so.
Mary,
They've been banning abortions. What do you mean? Banning abortions mean the government has your last say. You get put on trial if you even have a miscarriage after 6 weeks.
That shit is wild.
Of pregnancy.
You can go.
Get
You can.
tried for that, for a miscarriage, just so they can prove that you really had a miscarriage if your child dies inside you.
Well,
Yes,
that's the
it's
opposite.
deciding now.
That's the opposite argument. The government doesn't have you've already had sex and conceived a child, and the government is jumping in and saying that you can't kill the child. The government can't stop you from having sex with a woman.
Exactly.
People get pregnant on birth control every day.
Oh my God,
Mary.
What do you mean?
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. What do you mean? There's instances where you do everything you can.
But why are you trying to solve for outliers, Mary?
I'm not trying to solve for outliers. I'm solving for facts.
Nah, you acting like love, yo.
Love, I'm sipping my tea. I'm minding my business.
Mary just arguing just to argue.
I'm actually quiet this whole episode. I'm mind my business, drink my
He
tea.
mentioned the government don't have say. He said
They
nobody
don't.
got say. We
They don't.
even have say no more, really.
They don't.
Abortion's something.
The government doesn't have say on whether you should have sex with a woman to conceive a child. The government does that. The government can't control that. You know what I'm saying? Like human beings are almost like wild animals. You can't stop people from having sex and conceiving children. You can hide out in the basement for 9 months, really, and conceive a child. But that's different from a woman being pregnant and the government saying that she can't abort the child. That's apples and oranges.
Things happen other than consensual raw sex for people to have children.
You just bringing up everything, Mary.
I'm bringing up truth.
Yeah, people. So I think it should be like a driver's license. You need to pass. Your IQ got to be a certain number, and like things got to matter. It can't just be I got a dick and she got a vagina.
As much as I agree with that statement, nigga, do you know how many drug addicts are on Wall Street right now? These niggas IQ is high as fuck, and they be high as a giraffe ass all day. So like,
that was one of the many factors.
So you're talking about outliers. You was barking at Mary for outliers, nigga. You just put outlier in
there. You ain't even saying nothing. You just saying words together.
Niggas call you out.
That's not the same thing at all.
You put out an outlier.
I said there needs to be a test. I said IQ is a facet. Then I named some other things. So hold it, G.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Come on, man.
I want to ask Chief. I want to ask
you
Chief a question.
like that, Mary.
Chief, I want to ask you a question.
What happened?
Get his ass, Bob.
This nigga need backup.
Chief, go down, Chief, and go downtown in our hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want any of the motherfuckers that's hanging out downtown to have a kid?
Absolutely not.
Hey, thank you. That's all I want to hear. Thank you. They don't deserve
Shit like that.
No
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
So
they don't deserve it.
In their current state, absolutely not. No,
they don't deserve it. Period. In 14 years, they're gonna be banging on your office door, calling you an asshole, stepping on your Jordans.
Okay, so we happen to unfortunately know someone who's down there. Remember the text I sent a while ago?
Yeah.
You didn't think at the time we knew him. Would you have predicted he was going to be where he's at right now? At the time we knew him, would you predict that he's going to be where he's at right now?
No.
Okay, then. So at the time, you would have been like, he deserves to have a baby.
Current state, he don't deserve to have no kids.
I don't disagree with you.
Let me read this super chat. For real, the Real Bravado Network, $20 super chat.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
For real, our black women should have to have permission to have a kid because they pick so poorly.
Wow.
I think
That's
our women
trash.
have given up the right to pick for themselves.
That's trash.
Agreed. Thank you, Chief. That's pure trash. That's our black women. That's kind of messed up.
He's saying his because that's the pronoun.
Yeah, I do pick poorly though.
y'all still impregnate the women though. So
and y'all pick poorly too by picking
yeah,
them,
like,
hold on.
your dick in them and
y'all
coming.
splashing
I mean, what?
with no regard.
Well, hold on. Are y'all saying that this has no credence at all?
No.
I know it. I in my opinion, it doesn't.
No.
For real. I'm gonna read. Our black women should have to have permission. So the black men have.
Yeah, so we have to be
This
the
is
ones
just
to be
crazy.
accountable, but not the men, because y'all the ones
Yeah,
that
like we don't.
us.
Right.
Well, because you guys control if the baby's born or not, right?
Permission from who? The man?
Alex has
Government?
said that men should have no say so. So he's addressing that if men don't choose if the kids are born, then that onus is on you guys.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, I didn't hear her say that either.
Don't do that.
What'd she say? You said men don't have a right to it, to say anything, right? When Mike said it, you agreed?
No. Something I said about that is previous episodes before. What I feel like when it comes to a man and a woman choosing to have a child, for me, if a man tells me, I don't want you to have this child, and I go ahead and I proceed to have the kid anyways, it'd be foolish of me to act surprised and try to take this man to child support court and get upset. And that's
Have you ever said my body, my choice, Alex?
What I said in reference to that, Hamp, I said that people are pro-birth and not really pro-life. That's what I said.
All right, let me ask you a
That's what
question
I
then.
said.
Have you ever said my body, my choice, Alex?
Yes.
Somebody say something. Q, come on, Q.
As a woman, if I get pregnant, it is ultimately my decision to go ahead and keep the child, right? But I'm keeping the child knowing that the man has told me that he does not want to be involved.
It's on
I am
you.
making the choice to keep the child despite the fact that he's giving me all of these red flags. I made that poor, stupid ass decision to proceed with the pregnancy.
Hence the comment.
I'm not agreeing with the comment that he made, so calm it down.
Oh, sorry.
You over here bringing up stuff that I ain't even said.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it just sounded like you was. You know how you stay on code with dumb shit. I thought you was with it.
No. You heard what you wanted to hear. You made something up.
You might be right. For real, our black women should have to have permission to have kids because they pick so poorly. I think our women have given them the right to pick for themselves. So Alex just proved the point. Shout out to Alex.
So get permission from who?
Somebody, your daddy.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, so it's like, what is it, Handmaid's Tale now? We have to get permission from the government. Who are we getting permission from?
Give us better options to choose from.
To pick. I
don't
just
gotta
think
worry about picking poorly all the time.
Crazy.
But
the majority of men don't have kids though. So the majority of men don't have kids. Y'all are picking wrong. Y'all are literally picking the minority.
It's true.
The majority of men don't have kids.
51% of black males do not have any children, and they single.
But isn't every man that's on this panel, y'all have more kids than all of us women?
51% of black men are single and childless. Hence, Adrian was what he said.
Are they childless by choice or because there's a genetic issue? Like, you keep on throwing this stat around. I'm just trying to figure out. Like, I'm just asking a question. Don't get upset.
They all can't have kids.
I'm asking
You're right. Love that. You're right. They all are genetically malfunctioning.
I'm asking, is it because they're genetically, because of the environment, chemicals in the food that we're eating? Is it preventing them when they do shoot up the club? Because a lot of men probably are raw dogging or trying to get women pregnant. Is it because the chemicals in the food that their sperm isn't strong enough to inseminate an egg? These are legitimate questions. So you keep on throwing this stat around.
They're not legitimate questions.
So
they're not.
What I'm saying is there an issue?
You're talking about 9 million men.
I'm just saying, is there an issue? Because it's not like they're not having sex.
Well,
they're not legitimate questions. The statistics are real, and people don't want to believe the statistics, and they make excuses for the statistics. The statistics don't bode well in your favor. So you say things like, "Okay, are they shooting blanks? Or are they doing this?
Why
or they doing that?"
Why is my voice like that, though? Why is my voice like that? That's not how I said it.
I'm not attacking you. I'm just talking in a general statement about women in general. That you're regurgitating the same talking points that a lot of women use. So I'm not talking specifically about you and saying that you talk like this and talk like that. But that's what a lot of women use to try to regurgitate those things. Point that, oh, maybe he's shooting blanks, or maybe he's doing this, or maybe he's doing that. No, those stats are real, ma'am.
So, Gunny, did you go to college?
I did.
Okay. Y'all got to stop with this statistic shit. Okay. A lot of that shit is flawed. And I notice a lot of you college going niggas be the main ones dragging that shit. Okay. Y'all got to stop with that shit. That's why
I knew she gonna say that.
Why should we stop with facts?
It's not, you don't,
Because
it's flawed.
skewed.
It's flawed. It's not perfect facts. It's just not. That's
Facts
why.
are not perfect.
So because
What are the variables that
they're
you're
not.
using to obtain those statistics? First of all, because not everybody is coming forth to say what it is, to be able to get the stats.
Well, Ham just outlined a statistical fact
and we don't
that you try to deny based on your emotions.
No, it's just the fact that they're not that accurate. That's the fact. But you college,
what's your fact to prove that?
Y'all believe the census is real.
So anyway, so what percentage of that was the wheelchair niggas that can't fuck and have babies?
Exactly. What are the variables? Go ahead, talk to them, babe.
What?
Okay, so
Yeah, real quick.
The special need niggas from the cafeteria. What percentage of men is in that? That's what I'm saying to you.
We
Y'all
don't
want
know.
to go with these large numbers, but it's like 50-something% of men. Yeah, and I'm doing the voice. I am mocking you. Of men, can't have. So it's like, but then break that down.
Q. All right, question. So how many black men? How many black men are? How many black men are in America?
I don't fucking know him. Tell me what the statistic say. You got all the answers. You a college going nigga. What does the statistics say?
Whatever, nigga. Real Bravado Network with a $10 super chat. Triggered on facts.
They're not facts. Again, probably a college going nigga. Pay another $10 and tell us if you went to college. Y'all be killing me with that shit.
And you're using this. That's a stereotype. The fact that I went to college, that's a stereotype. I'm also a former blue collar worker. I'm a businessman. I'm former military. That's where the name Gunny comes from. So I have a lot of different aspects from where I come from. So you can't put me in a box and just say that just because I went to college, which I did go to a HBCU. So maybe you could put me in a box because I went to an all black college, but you can't put me into a box.
Shit like that.
You know what I'm saying?
But Gunny, since we're talking facts and there's no statistic to back this, did you or did you not go to college?
I did go to college.
And that was the question that I asked you, right?
Right.
So where the fuck did I stereotype you?
You stereotyped me because you assumed that I had a certain thought process because I went to college. You said you college type N-words believe this, right? That's not what you said, right?
But was I correct or not? Did you go to college?
You were correct in that assumption that I went to college, but you were incorrect in the fact that I believe a certain way because I went to college.
That's your personal opinion. That's not some personal shit. I was right about
the fact. That's my assessment based on what you said.
Tell me where I was wrong. You don't have a
You were wrong because you assumed that I had a certain thought process because I went to college.
I was right though. That's all I'm saying. I was right. Because see, when Chaotic came
you
on here,
wasn't right. You were wrong.
Being uneducated because he was going to ask me a question that he didn't think I knew the answer to. I proved him wrong. You didn't do that with me.
I don't understand your point.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
No. I really don't. I do not understand your point. You're trying to. I don't understand your point.
Right. That's all. All right. What you said here?
I was trying to see what Mary wanted to ask.
Oh, okay.
No, I was gonna ask. I think you mentioned before on a show a while ago in regards to like most of the good, decent men are in fact like married and in relationships and shit like that.
Black men?
Yeah.
The stat is 51% are single and childless, 33% are married, and so that leaves that 18%. Part of my math is a little bit off by a percentage or two.
Okay, so that doesn't. I feel like overall that means that there's not really that many decent men left.
No, there's a lot. They're saying that women are sleeping with the same 20% of men. Because those 20% got all the goddamn kids.
But then y'all say most of the ones that are decent are married.
No, 33% are married. 51% are single and childless.
But how many of those are ain't shit men though?
I don't know, Mary. Y'all keep sleeping with the same 20%. I don't know.
Don't say y'all because it ain't me.
Well, you know, don't you part of the woman group, right? Shout out to Mr. Gary Grant. I think that's Canadian. What kind of money is it up there? Dollars? I don't know. Our women have more children than black men. They have kids with the same man. Men lie, women lie. Numbers do not. I did not go to college. Oh shit. Yo, y'all crazy as hell, man. Do y'all want to say anything else about this?
The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. The numbers are there for a reason. When it comes to black people, black women, you might not like the statistics and you might not like the numbers, but they're there for a reason.
I don't know. People die every day, so obviously something got to change.
I don't know what. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, Hit that like button right now if you can.
Mary said your numbers are people die. Your numbers are skewed, B.
Right.
No, easy.
Real shit.
Listen, man. Please hit that like button. I apologize. Please hit that like button. Y'all legendary, man. I don't know if I've ever heard them quite like this before. They are not sound, but y'all arguing like a motherfucker. So
shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
So,
these
all right,
kids.
Listen, all right. Let me hit this question. So, all right, this one, I like the energy. This one might switch it a little bit, maybe not though. So, in terms of anecdotal experience, so I got knocked before, right, back in 2011, and so I'm going in, right? You know,
do the super chat first before we.
Which one? Hey, Adrian, you don't participate in nothing. Just sit there. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Sit your ass right there. God damn it. I see real bravado been showing mad love.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
So
shit like
I got
that,
knocked,
like
right?
that,
And I was going in, right? And so my dad, my mom standing there, right? So, you know, I do the look back. Everybody look back. You know what I'm saying? So my mom wilding, but you expect that. You know what I'm saying? But my dad, his face was like, that's an image I'll never get out my head. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, you expect moms to be moms. You know what I mean? But, like, that nigga was sick. You know, she yelling, talking to the judge. None of that shit don't matter. But, like, his face was just, like, the sickest look. It's like engraved in my head. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess it's just a different, you know, that unconditional, you try to do everything for you. Like AJ said, you never stop parenting, you know? So, if your child grows up to be a fuck up, is that on you? If your child grows up to be a F up, is that on you? Let me hit the super chat real quick as y'all think about the question. Tell her, man. That's like, see how Adrian want me to read it? That nigga ain't shit, bro. The Real Bravado Network, $10. Tell her masculine self to go read various research center reports from liberal and conservative perspectives. They all agree on our outcomes. Miss Comedian Q Turner is anti-college education. Laugh out loud.
Wow. I'm just saying, people who go to college tend to lean on statistics as pure facts. So if you missed that, that's your fault.
Hey, shout out to Bravado.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
But what about Mr. Grant though? Q, he ain't go to college.
I could tell though. When you read his comment, I knew.
Wow. Hey man, Mr. Grant.
No, I'm not anti-college. Don't do what works for you. But I'm just saying, typically people who go to college, men particularly, tend to lean on statistics as just pure facts, like as if there wouldn't be anything that would be flawed in that. And that's just my observation. So that's why I asked Gunny that before being like, Gunny, you actually did go to college. I asked you first, and then it showed. So yeah, whoever don't agree with that, fuck them.
Wow. Okay, well they showing love, so damn. If your child grows up to be a fuck up, is that on you? Now, totally on you, I would say not. But is that on you? Right? People live their lives, right? But if your child grows up to be a fuck up, is that on you? Age, I seen you shake your head. Go ahead.
No. And I'm glad you said not totally on you, and that's kind of where I was going. I just, you do the best for your children, single parent, dual parent, whatever. But don't forget, you're raising a human being that has their own mind. They're shaped by not just the home environment, but they're also shaped by their experiences and in the community with other people as well. And so it's not like just the home life. I hear an echo. I'm not sure if anyone else does, but it's not just the home life and how you raise your kids, but it's also they are an autonomous human being. And so they can choose to follow your instruction or they can choose not to. They have a free will and choice just like you all do. Like we all do. I mean, we all have our own free will. So it's not totally on you. It's not on you. I don't think you have some bearing on it. Like, these kids out here that they wilding right now with these carjackings. Crazy. And why are you letting your kid out at 2:00 in the morning or not knowing where they're at? Yes, that's on you. Absolutely. You should take, take control of your kids. But if you lock them up in the house and say you can't go out and they still sneak out, that on you? Or do you report them to the police? I mean, I just don't feel that it's all the way on the parents. On
Is it on the parents to an extent then?
I mean, you can place a certain percentage on the parents, for part of it, but again, I wouldn't say it's totally on the parents. No, if you got grown adults, like you were a grown adult when you did what you did, I think 10 years ago, yeah, you were an adult, definitely a full adult at that time. And I'm sure your parents were like, dang, what could I have done differently? That's the kind of thought that goes through a parent's mind, but you made that conscious decision to do whatever you did. I don't even know what you did at that time. And so for them to say, what could I have done differently? I would tell them nothing, because he made that conscious decision to do whatever act that was.
Yeah, I think so just that one, so to be a fuck up, I think it has to be more what's the correct word, Age? A perpetual?
Yes, perpetual. Yes,
yeah,
perpetual
so that was an instance where I made some mistakes, right? But I've since overcome, and I'm pretty
right. Of course, you're a great human being, a citizen. No, you're a great citizen in society. Yeah,
because of what. Go ahead. Well, I'm just saying because of the parenting, right? So you have that, right? But I'm talking about
qualifier, the perpetual effort, like you out here sticking people up and
like a fuck up, like a straight, like that
like
nigga
crackhead, and like you out here like the guy that Chief and Bud were talking about that's downtown or wherever they're at.
Yeah, like when somebody just ain't making nothing of themselves, type shit.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put that on the parent. I would not, because when you raise your kids right, again, they have the choice to go back to the learning after they made a mistake. I made a mistake. Let me not do this again. I don't like this consequence. But if you're going back repeatedly and doing mistakes or increasing more mistakes, that's on you as a human being adult.
So you say no?
No, my initial answer, and I'll stick with that. No.
Okay. Anybody think it is to some extent on the parent?
I do. I do too.
Let me see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Alex, what you think?
I don't think it's all on the parent, but I do believe in nature versus nurture. I imagine as parents, you're doing the best that you can with what you have and what you know. There are definitely traumas and things that are passed down. But I've definitely met people and they are fuck ups, but because I know their background and their story, it's not a surprise why they turn out the way that they did. It's not a surprise that you are in and out of being incarcerated. because that was something that was normal to you. So there are some situations where it's just like,
Some.
surprised that they
Some.
turned out that way. Okay.
What you mean some?
And I say some because I know you don't like some.
Nah, and some don't ain't allowed on Wednesday.
There are instances where.
Don't try to fool me. That's the same. You mean the same
What
shit.
do you mean?
So, answer the question first.
Okay. If your child goes,
If your child, yeah,
that on you.
yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And but you're saying, but some people have a nature of being aggressive or mean or bad or whatever the case is, and you can't parent it out of them.
Yes.
What you think, Gunny, and then Mary?
I think we're 100% accountable. You know, as parents, we're leaders. Not trying to give the cliche answer here, but you know, as parents, we're leaders, and you know, when you assume a role of leadership, when you decide to have children, then you assume the role as the protector, provider, you know, counselor, nurturer, whatever you want to call it, and we assume that role. And there's no handbook to being a parent. You can never be the perfect parent. You know, I have older kids and I have an 11-year-old, and the things that I did with my older kids, I don't do with my 11-year-old because I learned different parenting tactics when it comes to my youngest child. But ultimately, we are responsible for the decisions that they make. Ultimately, we are. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Mary.
So I don't believe 100%, but I do think a majority of that lies within us, and it's not teaching our children to like avoid certain things. Like for instance, our oldest that is graduating high school, we more so teach her. We don't keep her away from things. We teach her how to handle things in any situation. So if it's not about restricting them or being strict parents where it's going to avoid certain things, it's about knowing how to handle yourself in those tough situations. So if we didn't teach her in that kind of way when we just were like strict parents, maybe she would follow more into doing things that she was curious about. So which would lead her down a different path, like, you know, sleeping around, maybe just, you know, doing things that she wasn't supposed to, being strict parents. I've seen a lot where strict parenting has led children to get into more trouble because they don't know what's going on out there. So as soon as they get outside, they out of here. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of that does have to do, again, with the strict parenting. But I also do believe that a lot of things that kids do learn is from peers, which has a major impact on, you know, what's going on. Some people have 2-parent households, great families and all of that, and still end up trying to be gangbangers.
So is it on you to an extent?
I feel like it's more on the parent, yes.
And if I could just add one thing really, really quick, I think that if we push the message to parents, as far as, you know, we can just speak for Black people. If we just push the message to parents that, you know, there's a huge responsibility whenever you find out that your woman is pregnant. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, whenever you find out that you're pregnant, when you finally know that you are pregnant and you have responsibility for another human being, there should be a light bulb that goes off in your head that says, hey, I need to do certain things different. I need to move in a different way. And based on how I raise them, that could affect them in a negative or a positive way. So if we have the thought process that we are 100% responsible for how they lead their lives, then I think that's just going to better I just think that's going to better the community in general.
Gunny you said a specific phrase. You said move in a different way. And in my head, the first thing that came to mind was sometimes that actually requires moving. And I know it's more difficult and, you know, easier said than done. But like, I don't think anybody in this podcast right here, no disrespect, but we're not raising our kids in the South Side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's where we happen to be from, we have to make the sacrifice to get up out of there because it's not. It has proven not to be the most successful environment for most of these kids. You got to make these sacrifices as parents. So I think it's ultimately, like you said, 100% on you, on the parent. You got to do what you got to do.
I agree with Chief and Mary, honestly.
I know.
Because
Chief said 100% though, bub.
Well, I take that back then. Sorry, Chief. Not 100%, but
stupid.
I go with
75.
I'll give you like 90%. Now, Pete, so check this out, right? All of us on this panel, right? To a certain extent, you don't have to say it if you don't want to. Everybody's like around 40 or mid 30s, right?
Yeah.
There's something that happened in your childhood that to this day you're not really that fond of, but you probably never said nothing to your parents. And you're holding that shit on, you're holding it inside of you. And you know if your parents didn't do this or say this or whatever the situation was when you was younger, now currently you could potentially be in a better place. It happens. I know there's a lot of people going through this type of shit like right now today. That's why anything that I ever felt, my parents, my mother or my father did to me, or anything that I was exposed to while I was young, y'all had to address that shit, yo. Word up, because I wouldn't be in the place where I'm at today if I didn't get that off my mind or my soul or my spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be carrying around nothing at this age that I could potentially pass on to my own kids. Hence, having a fucked up kid. You know what I'm saying? Having a gang banging ass kid, a carjacking ass kid, a kid that's going to school putting his hands on teachers, a kid that's going to school cursing out teachers. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
a teenage boy that's sleeping around having babies with multiple different young girls. You know what I'm saying? Like all this shit, you got to take all this type of shit into consideration. You know what I'm saying? And hold your own self accountable. When you're trying to raise these kids. So yeah, you are accountable. I would say 95% of what the hell your kid is gonna go through or what they're doing. That ass.
So just so I'm clear, when you were saying that something happened in our childhood, are you referencing like the shit we did or just what we observed as a part of our parents? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we was out there, like, don't get it, well, we've gotten into plenty of trouble our parents may or may not have known about. You know what I'm saying?
That and IMP, that and like current traumas that you still could be having right now in your current situation. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you don't even, to the point where you got kids, right? Not saying you per se, but an individual on this panel might have children and you don't even really know how to love your own kids because your parents didn't even know how to love you.
I see what you're saying. All right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So your parent didn't pass that trait along to you. So now you don't know how to now you don't know how to reciprocate with your own children. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
And also to the extent of how you're parenting too, because you got to think of it like most of the time these kids that are out here wilding, they're not afraid to upset their parents. They don't feel nothing in their heart in regards to like, damn, I don't want to disappoint my mom or my dad, so let me not make these choices. So if you don't, I don't want to say put fear, but if you're not that much on your child to where they don't feel like there's any consequences behind what they're going to do, they're going to make those bad decisions.
I want my kids to fear me, Mary. Dead ass. I want them to fear me. I want them to be afraid as hell of me. And I'm just being honest.
Do you have that?
I don't want my kids to ever fear me to the extent where they can't come to me about their mistakes.
But they shouldn't want to disappoint you. Like you see the kids in like school, like them kids are out there throwing and fighting the teachers. Those are the kids that are probably like, "Call my mom. I don't care. She's not gonna do nothing no way."
Exactly. My point exactly.
Yeah, and when I used to work in the schools, and I'm back in the schools now, like it's literally like they fear no authority. They're not afraid of any consequences at home. They have no regard for their mother, their father. When they come to school, y'all are nobody to them. But then what kills me is that then when they're on the news, right, and then their parents are crying, "Oh, he's such a..." No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
But those parents could have been really good parents and instilling good things in those kids, and those kids they decide to act out, because you have those too that they'll act out because of that. So why is that?
That's what I'm saying though, Nate. Maybe that kid is missing something. That's what I'm saying. You can give them everything in the world, but if you don't never give that kid a hug or a kiss, or you tell that kid every day that you love them and so on and so forth, that's something that's missing there.
Go ahead, Mr. White, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with what Bub is saying. It's definitely, I'm gonna go with 99% on the parents, because of the structure and things that we need to implement, right? We literally are their first teachers. And a lot of times you got parents who say, do what I say, not what I do. So we don't even model that behavior, and it starts early on. So it has to be on us, even when you take into consideration the number of parents who, we say they did the best they could, because again, we're not even fully equipped to be parents because of all of the things that we were never taught, the things that, we were never shown. So it's absolutely on us. Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to be honest. Just like I think most people average, I don't think everybody be parenting as good as they think they do either.
Hell no.
But there's no rule
Real
book to
shit. Niggas be
parenting.
acting like they be doing such a great job. No, the fuck you
People
not.
think buying their
When
kids.
you hold on, Mary. God damn it. You didn't think of this. I thought of it. Now you want to add on to it.
There's no rule book to parenting. But go ahead.
God damn, buying Jordans and you getting all this assistance, but then you want the kid to be great. No, motherfucker, you cheating too. They see that goddamn WIC check and all that other shit coming in the house. Go to work, motherfucker. You go to work. That's what the kid thinking, but they ain't gonna say it back to you. That ass. Like this shit, kids be knowing, bro. They see that rent check come in for $15.65, $15.65. Fuck out.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
They see it. They be knowing, but they want you to. You want them to strive for greatness. It's somebody else doing all the hard work in your crib. Kids be knowing, bro. They knowing. They see that pack of cigarettes under your bed. They see them as Saul's boss, your speech slurred. They see this shit. They see y'all playing blackjack and spades on every Friday night, and somebody losing $60 and y'all arguing. They see it, and I'm using some just very you know what I mean. But they see the arguments that happen all the time. They see you on the phone. They see how you interact with people around you. I just think, I don't know, motherfuckers be overblowing themselves. The mirrors in our houses got a lot of, I don't know, steam or fog on them. Motherfuckers cannot see clearly, right? I be working dumb hard. I get in the house, bro. The first thing that come on in the morning on Saturdays is what's them nigga? Gracie's Corner. Is that the best route? No, but it keep these niggas quiet and dancing. Right? But that's what we do. We such great parents. These motherfuckers sitting in, go. Who like, come on, man. I know Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Like, come on, man. That shit. So well, I'm just saying we gotta be real, right? Maybe I should be reading to them. Maybe she be hooked on phonics. Maybe we should be dancing together. They're like, there's other things. But Gracie keep these motherfuckers occupied. Yeah. I'm holding this nigga now because he won't go to sleep. Look at this motherfucker. Look, fat face ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Y'all, what y'all think?
I have a question. I have a question for you. So ahead, this question, because I took it from when they're an adult, but so we're talking about kids or adults. Like, if you're adult, if you raise your kids and they become an adult and they make perpetually bad decisions, is that on you? Right? Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, yeah. My answer still stands, then the answer is still no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how we raise them up is a large contributor, and I think we got to take more accountability for that.
So do you think that there's societal
pressure?
Not pressure, but just influence. Societal influence.
100%.
Where has been on it too. So go ahead.
No, yeah. So and I'm gonna use myself, right? Because Q hates stats, so I'm playing to that. So I was decent playing football in high school, right? And so my dad missed one game. I had like 20 tackles. I'm going bananas. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. But I'm looking in the crowd the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in high school. I'm a senior. It's up for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking in the crowd the entire game because that is still your greatest influence. Even, my dad had whatever people deal with the shit they deal with. But like, that's the person that you want to make proud. So you can still hear your parents. And the peers are they put a lot of pressure on you. But if it's right and you admire that person, you can still hear him. So
For
that's
sure.
why I think it's still on us, man.
It is, and let me say this too. I ain't gonna use no statistics. I'm gonna use something personal. You know what I'm saying? I see the difference with when we look at like home structure and having two parents in the home, right? I'm
Mhm.
so thankful that my wife don't have to work because it's a difference between her kids and my kids that we have half the time because her kids have always been homeschooled by her. So that's literally the only influence that they have. So by the time they're exposed to the world, all of that stuff is going to already be developed, right?
Yeah.
So her kids, they're soft, right? They just laid back, they're chill, they're respectful. My other daughters, they be up 100%. They ready to because they just exposed to so much more. But she has control over it. So we was talking. She was like, I mean, I'll get a job. Nigga, you're not getting a job. And you got my son. You're gonna keep him, be his main influence. I'm gonna be his main influence, just like you doing that all the way up because that matters. So this broken home stuff and women wanting to do their own thing and trying to have both, it matters legacy wise. It matters because then you can't control what your children are exposed to. They're
Yeah,
exposed
man.
to so many different things at such a young age. And then it's too late for you to, well, I tried to raise them the best I can. No, you didn't. You wanted to be a boss. You wanted to be a boss. That's what you
Mr. White,
wanted to do.
Mr. White, so question to that. You don't think that now, because in a sense they're like sheltered, now when they go out into the world, they're like, I'm a wild the hell out because I was sheltered my whole damn life.
Nah.
Because it's who they are now. It becomes their personality.
But
They're
they want to
laid
explore
back,
life.
they're chill, they're vulnerable, they know how to speak. Like, I have to, hey, how's it going? Yeah, well, like it's a complete difference. And I have a whole newfound respect for my wife staying home and taking them, like, yeah, whatever I gotta do to keep this so that my son can have this too, I'm going to do it.
And I think that's good. I'm just saying, I think that they might go into the world and then they're gonna encounter people, they're gonna have relationships, make friends, go into the workspace, and things are gonna happen that are gonna change the trajectory of their life. That I do, to Ham's point, I feel like they're gonna have their mom and dad, you guys in the back of the head, like, maybe I shouldn't do this, but they want to explore life because they felt like they were sheltered for so long. That happens.
Nay, it's not sheltering on there.
But
It's not sheltering. What happens is we let the world raise our kids.
Right.
Because we can't afford them.
Can I ask this question?
Yeah, just real quick on this statement. Because we can't afford to stay home. So you got to send them out into the world. But nobody ever said that was best practice. It's just what we are forced into. You know what I'm saying? Because of inflation, somebody can't stay home. They don't have that luxury. But if everybody had that luxury, I definitely recommend you raise and school your own kids. Go ahead, love.
So the question I had is, the homeschooling and, them kind of just being not around a lot of other kids. Do you think that will impact I don't say social skills, but their social skills, right? And how they interact with other people in the world. Because like you said, they're very, very soft and meek. Or you didn't say meek, but I'm saying that. But you said very soft.
Meek is
so
good.
When they go, what?
Meek is good. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So when they go out into the world and get a job or whatever, they want to go to the high school dance or they go to college. That's even better. They go to college because college, there's a whole new world, a different world, literally. And so when they go to college, do you think when they interact with others that they may come from a deficit? Please don't take that word and just run with it, right? But do you think that they're coming from a deficit?
No.
And interact with other people?
No, because she still interacts them, do things with them. Like she'll take them to the library. We when we do family day, we take them to different things so that they still are interacting with other children, right? And then again, we're talking about the foundation being led. So if you think about I'll use me specifically. Growing up, we pretty much raised each other. So all of those core things that I had in terms of being tough, working hard, making sure I protect the things that I can protect and not dealing with disrespect, that was when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, just by my environment. And those things stuck with me. So the things we learn at that age always are going to stick with you through everything. So if they're learning how to properly communicate, and their whole world is being shaped by what their mom is saying, by the time they hit 10, 12, they're going to be influenced by some things because they're still learning, right, as they go through the different stages of development. But ultimately, who they are is going to already be there, and it's not going to change.
I feel like
Yeah.
Well, Chief, I just want to make one statement about that whorehouse we call college. A man would be a fool to send his daughter out to a college. I know you can't stop it holistically, but man, that college campus, what do you get in them first 2 years? Dick and fucking general fucking courses. Come on, man. Come on, hold it.
Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that shit, man. Fuck that. Go ahead, Chief.
No, I was just kind of piggyback on everybody, but I think we went to the presumption like A's wife is gone, like his kids ain't never gonna go to school until they get to college. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna have some educational experiences to be able to develop them social cues. It's just the adult or the toddler to, you know, what is it?
Adolescent,
toddler to adolescent. But when they get to school, they go to elementary school. You know what I'm saying? But these first couple of years, they get those foundational principles. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the essence of it all. As parents, all we can do is fill our kids' toolbox with all the tools that we think they may need to enter society and hope that they use them at the right moments.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
What?
I'm sorry. I think Hamp was saying a lot of powerful stuff too. Like, it's not that, you know, as parents we know what we're doing, but there has to be some level of accountability for, you know, the structure that your kids are getting very early, because you got to think of it like they come into the world as a blank canvas. So they're not affected by anything that's going on. They're not, like Mary, some of your fears with society, they're not affected by any of that. I think the disadvantage though for us is that, like, I think Camp was also saying this, you're forced to go into the workforce. So you can't really raise them and be there for them during those formative years the right way. And I think that it's very important to instill the fear of God in your children, not in a way, as you were saying, Mary, where they don't want to share with you or be open with you, but to the point where they revere you. Because I think when you get that established very young, there's just certain things that even with the influence of peers, they're just not going to really gravitate towards, because they know you better not fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's something powerful to that. But I do think that as especially in America, we are definitely at a disadvantage. So I think a lot of us are doing our best, but it doesn't show all the time because your best is coming from a halfway point as it is.
I think
so cute.
Yeah.
Question, and this could be for everybody too. At what point do y'all think, you know, you should cut the umbilical cord?
What do you mean, like as far as
like being like a full-time parent to your children?
I don't think it ever ends once they enter the world.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit
I
like
want
that.
to get
Shit
to
like
the.
that.
which is so bugged out. Which is so bugged out because as full-fledged adults, we still got to look at our parents like. But it's understandable because we are their child. They still see us as, you know what I mean, the kids that we have now, and it's so bugged out because I'd be looking at my mom like, this is my house. Like, you don't pay no bills in here. But
let me say this real quick too.
My final thought on this one.
Society and the government definitely holds a position too. So to answer the question literally, yes, but to an extent, I think the society and the government also has some impact on that. And it's because we, you know, there's certain things you can't do with your children to a certain extent. Like when they learn certain shit, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you can't discipline me in this way, or you can't do this, or you can't talk to me in that way. I have feelings, I have emotions, all this bullshit that they get fed to them. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something to be considered as well, is like making sure that they understand they have to listen to what's going on in their household, and what's coming out of their household should be the best thing for them.
Word. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. There's one comment in the chat saying kids don't think we're cool. Is that true, Chief?
Kids don't think we're cool?
Like when you know, like you probably know better than us.
Parents mean?
No, like at the school, are you cool to the kids?
I think so. I mean, I think I'm an asshole. Like they look at me like the asshole, but they know I'm the cool one in the building. Like I'm the cooler one in the building, I guess.
Yeah, I think
it's
possible. I think it's possible. All right.
I'm an offie.
You think you were offie?
Absolutely. But I like it like that though.
My kids don't like
I
me.
like
They
it like that.
like their dad. They got a cool dad, but they don't like me.
Kids
Yeah,
don't like their parents. They like everybody else.
dads tend to be cooler for sure. It makes sense though.
Because dad act like them.
Yeah. You eat candy. This nigga just had 3 lollipops. She supposed to be going to sleep.
You ain't going to sleep. 3 lollipops.
All right. Yeah, man. She knows. I think she had that sugar rush. Look, let me ask this question. Actually, Mary posed this one. What's worse, an absent parent or an inconsistent parent? What's worse, an absent parent or an inconsistent parent?
May is down there itching. Go.
Inconsistent. Oh my God, I can't stand an inconsistent parent. Absent parent, you have nothing to expect. But inconsistent is like you're here, then you're there, then you're not there. I think that creates more trauma for the child or children if you're in and out like that.
Yeah,
so inconsistency is worse, Nay?
Hell yeah. Like they're confused. Like, okay, well, I'm here. How long are you going to be here? Then I'm going to back away. Then they're wondering, like, how do you even form a relationship with somebody that's inconsistent? But when they're absent, you have no expectations. They're not there anyway.
Okay. So, so you rather like let's say your father wasn't around, you rather just not know him.
Yeah, I'd rather not know him until he's ready to be consistently there.
Okay. Fair. Mary, this is your question. What you think?
No, definitely the inconsistent parent is worse. And, that's just from my personal experience, with my son. My son's dad, he'll come around maybe once every other year. I still, because I don't block him from seeing him. I don't block him from talking to him. My son gonna see when he get older what's going on. But he'll come have the time of his life. Take him to Universal, take him swimming, take him to do all his favorite things. And then we won't hear from him for the next couple years. Mm-hmm. And then these are great memories that my son continuously will bring up. Like, oh, my dad said he's going to take me here again. And, consistently ask for him. But my husband physically has been in my son's life more than his dad.
Real Bravado Network with a $5 super chat. Comedian Q Turner, ellipsis, ma'am. Welcome to manhood. Break that bread and deal with it.
That's so random. What are you on?
He got it out for you, Q.
I guess that's a fan. I appreciate you.
Maybe I like what you
yeah,
just
word.
said.
Nah, I fuck with Real Bravado though. He been showing love. Real Bravado Network said, y'all doing good over here. Shout out to the panel, making my night shift go quick.
Shit like that.
Yeah, this one ain't even spicy. Like usually this shit be on fire, but everybody being decent tonight for once in their lives. So usually I'm the only one with decorum, Real Bravado, but tonight they doing well.
This nigga's a liar.
What y'all making all the faces for?
Where the cap at?
Word, stop the cap.
Put him in the bathroom.
Wow.
Put him in the bathroom.
Mr. White, what you think? Worse, absent or inconsistent?
Absent is definitely worse, right? And I think it go back to what Hemp is saying. People think they doing a better job than what they really doing because the majority of parents are inconsistent anyway with all of the things y'all be having going on, right? Y'all don't consistently cook. Y'all don't consistently read to them. Y'all don't consistently attend their events. Like y'all inconsistent, myself included. So to say I'd rather somebody not be there at all versus, they may be inconsistent. Yeah, absent is definitely worse.
Damn. Anybody got a rebuttal for Mr.
Asia, you making that face. I know you love your son, right? Are you consistent with calling him? Do you call him every time around the same amount of
You said
time
me?
every
You
week?
said love? I hear you.
Love.
You
Are
me?
you
Okay.
consistent?
I am. I have to, like I said, that's a grown man. And so I am consistently texting and or calling. Like I just make sure I keep communication open.
That was a bad one.
That was a bad, but I gave it to you though. But yes, I consistently keep the communication line open. And so since my mic is off, I'm gonna say I think inconsistent is worse. I'm agreeing with Nay on that because it creates trust issues. You don't know when to depend upon them. It's just like you don't feel stable. Instability is one of the worst mental anguishes a person can have, because it's like, I don't know if I can depend upon you, and then I get all excited and then you let me down. So I think that is worse, and it creates like a kind of like a bipolar thing in a person, and an abandonment kind of it just creates a lot more. If you're not there, you're like, well, why weren't you here? But I'd rather that than you just not be stable and provide a stable role in my life. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say real quick is that inconsistently cooking, sir, it's 7 days in a week. If I'm cooking 5 out of 7, that can be considered inconsistent. So,
but I'm saying, do you know how many people who, like with the father, women who just don't know their father? Do you know how bad that messes them up versus a guy who may pop up here and there? Like, yeah, that may mess them up too, but it's probably a reason. There's a lot of reasons that come with it. I'm using this from my anecdotal experience. That is a lot more than you guys is.
I'm gonna give you real experience as a woman. You said a woman.
To come talk to me about their issues, and I always take it to their. Okay, I'm using my anecdotal experience, which is more than you guys is, right? Because I'm in a field to where people literally come to me, and I always explore their relationships with their parenting. And
shit like that, shit like that, shit like that, shit like that.
Who have a completely absent parent versus people who have one that is inconsistent, it's way worse than when it's absent, because you literally don't know what is going on. You literally have no indication as to why. Whereas inconsistency can boil down to a bunch of different things. He might just have a bunch of different kids. He might live in a whole nother state, but to not acknowledge me at all and to not be in my life at all versus sometimes, that's a huge difference. Especially as you get older, you'll be able to understand and comprehend.
But psychologically, you don't think that the children are psychologically, you don't think that the children are affected more if a parent is inconsistent as opposed to a child that is dealing with a situation where the parent is not there? You don't think there's a difference between the two? You think the one child? No, go ahead.
No, so I'm saying there is a difference. I'm just saying which one is worse. So they both are bad, right? It's like you're comparing like a D and a D minus. So they're both are bad, but the consequences are worse with not having somebody there because of the void. And remember, the child grows up. So once the child grows up, they can process some of these things, but it's hard to wrap your head around how does this person not want me in their life at all?
So it's hard to wrap your mind around.
The same thing with inconsistency.
Right, exactly.
Well, my question is, are your clients actual children with inconsistent parents and absent parents?
Some, but I'm talking about adults. So that's why I'm saying the severity, because eventually they grow up. So when I deal with people who have had inconsistent parents growing up, it's a lot that they have to work through. But somebody who hasn't had that parent at all, that literally destroys so many relationships, whether they have consistent or inconsistent relationships.
Well, I'm asking.
As a child, if you don't have a parent there, that's going to affect everything that you do. Period.
But I'm asking that specifically because if you're able to say these are testimonies from actual children who have these experiences, to me, it has more weight than an adult who's also bypassed so many other life's experiences by the time they get to you. And the fact that people are not always forthcoming and transparent in therapy either. So that's where I'm looking at that. But I think how the children are affected is way worse. It's way worse than the parents.
Let me offer some anecdotal experience recently, as of like within the past 7 days. I got a student who was going through the bitter breakup blues with her boyfriend or whatever, and was yearning for her father's attention. She wanted her father, and he had abandoned her for his new wife, and then they have like another 4 kids or whatever. So he spent all the time with them. And then that day she's trying to call him, he's ignoring her calls, and I'm busy. I'm looking at the text message. I'm busy. A week later, what's today? Monday. He and his lady separate. He's at the front door knocking on the daughter's mom's house, like trying to see his daughter. Today, he's back at the old house and ignoring her phone calls again. That shit is traumatic, bro. And they're both wrong. But from personal experience, my father wasn't around, and for me it was out of sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I'm still impacted by that, yeah, whatever. I dealt with it, or I'm dealing with it. It's not as bad as if he was constantly in here. You know, I see, you know, the little kid on the front porch waiting for his dad to come pick him up, and nigga don't never show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I see when inconsistent plays in my head like that. That shit is traumatic as hell. I'm not sitting on the front porch if I know he ain't coming. It's a little bit less trauma I got to deal with. You think what I'm saying?
It goes back to what
if I can just give it just a quick example, Chief, I agree with you. If I can just give an elementary example, you know, I got this pen right here. Let's say this pen was a piece of candy, right? And I take this piece of candy away. The candy's gone, and I know that I'm not going to get this candy again. I'm not going to get it again. I'm able to deal with it. I'm able to accept it. But if I get this candy, I take it away. Get the candy, take it away. Get the candy, take it away. Psychologically, that's going to do an extreme amount of damage to me long term, because the inconsistency of getting this thing that I really enjoy and it being taken away over and over and over again, it's going to do a lot of damage to me long term, more than the thing that I know I'm not going to get, that I'm able to accept.
Yeah, I was saying it creates the rejection, and then to Asia's point when she was saying the trust issues, because you start to feel like, okay, I don't know what to trust, what's real and what's not. If the parent is absent, you have no expectations. They're not there. And I'm speaking from experience. My oldest son didn't meet his father till he was 12. He may have asked questions, but he didn't know anything. The moment that man came in, he see him once a year. Then it was like, now he's starting to feel the rejection of it, because it's like he was here, then he's not here. Then when does he come in? I mean, that to me is far worse than a parent who is not there. They have no expectations. Like, okay, well, I don't know who that is, whatever. They don't really care. It's out of sight, out of mind. But once you come in, you develop a relationship, and it's like you kind of like go back and forth, it's worse.
Nay, did you inquire with Baby Boy about how he felt about it? Because Q's question, which I understood it to Adrian, was was it the kid that he's talking to, or is it the parents of a said kid? So I know you felt heartbroken because your son waiting and seeing. How did your son feel? Did he feel better that his dad came around when he was 12, or he wish he never did in the first place?
He felt at 12, he felt good, but now he's 15, and it's like it's worse. Like he liked the fact that, okay, I met him, but now it's like, okay, he's probably not gonna come around. It's like the expectation of him not being there. So now he has to deal with that in therapy.
Speaking from a personal place of being an adult who's now in therapy, and this comes up all the time, I would have rather my father have stayed absent than be inconsistent. And we're working on our relationship now, but it has created false hope. It has created me being excited about little things that should be regular. Oh my goodness, he remembered my birthday. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? And as a grown woman, that shouldn't be a thing, but it is. I remember both of my parents are military, and I remember when September 11th happened and they were sending people out. He sent me a video, Will. Never forget this. I remember thinking this man was dead because I never heard, he never called, nothing, like we're trying to reach out to my stepmother, all this other stuff. Come to find out he was alive back in Georgia. It's the inconsistency. So having the hope, like, oh my gosh, is he okay? He's going to call back. That stuff is traumatic as an adult. So when I got into my own marriage, things that I had to unlearn, I learned a lot of things. I'm excited about small things that should just be regular. Again, something as simple as, oh, you remember my birthday? My birthday was last week. He called me the day before my birthday about something totally unrelated. And me, like a fool, and I sat there like, you about to remember? And he didn't. So the inconsistency for me is worse. And I would have rather it had been a situation where, you know what, out of sight, out of mind, I could deal with that. But for you to just pick and choose when the spirit moves you to want to speak, to want to call, I feel like that's more damaging than just not being around.
So I got a question. Show of hands, how many people either were directly impacted or just feel that inconsistency is worse? Just show of hands. So Adrian, you may need some new clients so that you can change your numbers, since the numbers don't lie.
Y'all are wrong. Y'all can be wrong. Y'all are wrong. Y'all, they both bad, but y'all are wrong. Because here's the thing too, the inconsistency piece. There's always a reason, and the
Final
reason
thought
can
on
be
this
different. So, huh?
No, I'm saying final on this one. Go ahead. I just want to get to this
Fine.
last
So
one.
like what Alex is like that's crazy what Alex is talking about, right? Like, dang, he led y'all to believe he was possibly dead. Like, that's an extreme. But with mine, you know, I got older. Shoot, my dad, just the way he is, like he a country dude from North Carolina who live on a farm, and I'm up north. Like, he don't even know how to do that. So that's understandable. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's different reasons for the why. But when you have an absent parent, you're literally missing a piece of your identity. And we even talked about this on a previous show. Like, a woman don't even know if a man love him. A woman don't know if she valuable to a man love him or something like that. Like, a father's love is crazy. And so to grow up and not have it at all. So, but yeah, final thought, man. That's it. Y'all enjoy
Nigga, I got one more question, you dick.
Oh, my bad. It was 11:02.
It's the main question that, first off, nigga, you don't do no intros or outro. Let's get that clear. But I gotta ask this question because I think Mary, this is probably like the main question that she posed. But like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. As much as Chief be talking about everybody else Wi-Fi, that nigga screen went dark, then went out. That nigga ain't pay his light bill. Fuck the Wi-Fi.
Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Jesus Christ. All right, I got to get to this last question. So, I don't say shit like y'all. So, this is literally how Mary wrote it. I just want to make that clear. Question.
Not too much.
Do you all think women are wrong for choosing to raise children on their own? Example, IVF, adoption, etc., with no father, just legit sperm donors. Now, Mary, when you say legit, like planned, or are you talking about a nigga who didn't want to have the kid, but they had it anyway? Does that count?
No, I'm saying legit sperm donor where you go to the sperm bank and pick a sperm, and this is what I'm going to do.
Okay. What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I asked y'all because I'm on the fence, so that's why I asked y'all. But if I speak, you know, and of course I'm on here because you guys teach me as well, but I believe my majority goes towards I think it shouldn't happen. You know, it is very detrimental already, you know, raising children without fathers that choose not to be there. But for a mother to make that great choice on her child's behalf, like, hey, you're never going to know your father. You're never going to know this side of you ever. You know, there's no real option there, but I'm going to do it anyway to fill me. So I feel like it's more of a void that a woman is filling for herself versus thinking about what detriments it could bring to a child.
Selfish.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree?
I disagree. I think it's a no for me. I think it depends on the intention. So if everybody up here, or like people were saying earlier, people have the right to have babies and all this shit, chose accordingly, I don't think there's anything wrong with them choosing that as long as the intention is right. If you feel like you're going to have a team of people to back you, if you feel like you're going to have a positive male figure, 2 or 3 or 4 for that child, fucking go for it. Because a lot worse people out here with worse situations, and it ain't got shit to do with having a male in the home and a female in the home. The child needs structure and perfect balance. If damn near perfect balance, not that perfection exists, but something great. And if you intend on giving that to them, hell fucking yeah, go for it.
What about the father, though, of the child? The father.
Yeah, the actual father. There's going to be, how can I say this? In life, you're not going to have anything be 100% solid, right? So if your worst thing was that you didn't know your father, so be it. Like, there's way worse shit happening to people who know their father. So what does it matter?
But that's not the question, though. What about the father of the child? Do you believe that the child deserves to have his or her father in their life?
If it's possible, but that's not where the question is stemming from. This is a person making a choice to have a baby without that father being present. right?
It's kind of related.
But it is possible. If you're making a choice to have a child and you know that the father won't be present, then you're making a conscious choice to bring a child in this world without the father. So that means that you don't think that it's important.
Hold on. Question: do y'all think women are wrong for choosing to raise children on their own? Example: IVF, adoption, etc., with no fathers, just legit sperm donors. Sir, I think I answered the fucking question.
And your question is, I don't know, your answer is what? Your answer is yes?
My answer is I don't think that it's wrong.
Okay, I disagree.
No, I'm okay.
I disagree.
Go off, but I spoke already, so go off. I'm about to mute. Hold on, go ahead.
No, so you're essentially saying that you feel that it's okay for a child to be raised without the father. The child doesn't need the father. You correct me if I'm wrong. You can take yourself off mute. You feel that the child doesn't deserve or doesn't need to have the father in their life. Am I missing something?
The question eliminates the father already. What are you talking about?
What was that?
Mary,
yeah.
I feel
like it's okay to answer the question without answering it directly to anybody.
No. Don't gloss over what he's saying though.
But that's
he's not talking about the question.
Let me go ahead and
not there.
Huh?
It's stating the obvious in regards to the father is not there.
So he's saying the father to you is unimportant. Like I feel, because I think it's kind of twofold when he's saying, when if I'm hearing him correctly, if you're saying that this is okay, then the father doesn't matter, nor is the father important.
No, the way that I interpreted the question, there is no father in this example. The example is like maybe the woman who never found somebody and she's reached a certain age, so she's deciding to have a child on her own.
I got you. But he's saying, does that kid not deserve a father still?
Why the fuck is that even relevant? That ain't got shit to do with the question.
Because I'm just saying, because if you champion this, but what about the child? There's residual effects that come with taking one of these methods.
And what I'm saying is we don't give a fuck. I'm answering the question.
Well, I think if you want to answer in terms of being, I think give your best answer, I think you probably want to consider all factors, no?
No, I want to answer the question. I did that. So what the fuck are we talking about?
No, that's fair. By the question, hold on, Gunny, because it said, are women wrong? So when it says, are women wrong? Now you have to consider the other factors, because Mary asked, are they wrong for doing this? So if a father is no longer included, that would be the child would be at a deficit.
Yeah, but you're
wait. Now I'm answering, right? So if I'm answering the wrong part, and now this child doesn't have a father, then I'm saying yes, this is wrong because the children need their daddy.
Then take all that other shit behind the example off if that's your stance and rephrase the fucking question.
What do you mean?
Let them niggas know.
Y'all go ahead. I'm done. Yo, I swear to God, I log off.
Yo, Shorty wrong. I'm going with Shorty.
Nigga. So can I answer the question? I'm answering the question. I'm gonna answer this question. And I don't think they're wrong.
I just want to get some clarity. So you're saying, Q, that you're saying that just delete the reasons for the baby not having a father on the back end?
All that extra shit that behind the example, because that's what I was speaking to. Then rephrase the question and then start this whole shit over again.
So what would make it wrong though if the father doesn't matter at all? Like, why would it be wrong?
I don't know. It ain't my question. That's Mary's question.
You asking why wouldn't it be wrong?
Well, because he's saying wrong. I'm saying things that would make it wrong is the fact that that child doesn't have a daddy. Right. But if we're saying that none of that matters, though, then why would it be wrong?
Right. But to Q's point, the additives on the end of the question, example, IVF, adoption, etc., with no father. So if a woman hasn't found her mate, or has just been unlucky, or just can't have children, and she's choosing to go that route, then if she has those paternal instincts and deserves to be a parent, why can't she be?
Well,
Agreed.
because I think maybe do we just delete the word wrong then? Because what would
I
make
don't
it
think
wrong
wrong
other
is
than the
it.
kid not?
Yo, I
don't
think
think
she's
it's wrong.
wrong. Yo, go
I
get a
don't think.
puppy. Dead ass.
Yeah. So
Thank
I
you.
don't think it's
Thank you.
wrong. I
Well,
don't
then,
think it's wrong
Gunny, just
because
give your answer then to the question. Don't try to ask other motherfuckers questions to prove your points.
No, I gave my
Handle.
answer to the question, and Bub he just alluded to it. It's wrong. If we're trying to come up with scenarios where a child is going to be born without a father, regardless of the scenario, that's wrong.
That's wrong. That's what I'm thinking.
Then
But
that's
let me.
y'all. So answer the fucking question and stop asking me questions. That's my whole point.
I did answer the question. I asked you a question to clarify, so that way I wouldn't have.
Yeah, because you want to understand where people coming from. That's why you ask
Yeah,
clarifying
so
question. But let me get Asia in because she tried already. Go ahead, Asia.
okay. So to answer the question, I do not think she is wrong. And to Q's point, I agree with that. And it's because if the woman has decided or has that familial structure as support to help her raise a child, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. And if she has a support system, I don't believe it's wrong because, again, she had to go through IVF because she never got married, or adoption because she couldn't have kids, but whatever, she couldn't have kids, for whatever reason, and she had to go that route. I don't think it's wrong. It doesn't make there's no need for a man, in a child's life, because the man could be the brother, her brother to be the child's uncle or whatever, or that positive male role model. But it doesn't make it wrong, nor does it exclusively make it to where a man is not needed. So I don't want that to be the reverse or to be brought into this conversation at all, because that's not what this is about.
But respectfully, have we lost our minds? We use these catchphrases like it takes a village to raise a child. No, it takes a mother and a father to raise a child.
And then they answer from their opinion. So
it's like why my thing is, if women can choose to have children without the father, why be so hard on these niggas that's deadbeats if they already told you they don't want the child and they're not raising the child?
Because a woman can't have a child without a father. That's physically impossible.
That's not what I don't know what you're talking about.
No, he's not saying that.
That's not what I'm saying.
Miss Mary point.
Yeah,
as always.
Let me read the super chat. Will with the $10 super chat. How do we quantify what someone deserves? I think we kind of explored that yesterday, Will, and a little bit today. We can answer. I just want to kind of get through these points. But Mary's saying if you could just eliminate a dad and that be okay, then why are you hating on the niggas that don't want to be dads? And these women bearing these kids anyway, and you calling him names.
Hey,
Stop
so Gunny and Bub, does the same apply? I think based on what Gunny was just saying, it applies. But if we just took men and women and flopped them in this conversation, is the man wrong for wanting to be a father and not having the mom around?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
So in terms of the adoption though, so just with the adopted, so like if a woman wants to go and just adopt a child, is that just as bad? Is that wrong?
Absolutely.
I'm thinking more about the child. I'm thinking more about the child, bro.
So you rather
I'm thinking about the child too.
I'm thinking about the child.
Hey,
do you know what these child? Hold on. Do you know what these? So like these kids that are in foster care and in group homes, and they don't get to go home because nobody don't love them. Like, do you know what that does to a child?
Yeah, we do.
And
so you don't think that child deserves that love, Bob?
Woman who, hold on, you think they're better off there than with a single or a woman if no man is in the house, but they're better off in a group home?
I feel like that's a different, for me, that's a little bit different, because when you're taking a child out of a foster home, a lot of times, because again, that comes from my field of work, they already know what's up with their parents. You get what I'm saying? A lot of them do know what's up with their parents, where they came from. Like, you could go back and be able to, find their parents, explain things to them, shit like that, explain to them what adoption is, to be like,
shit like that, shit like that, shit like that, shit like that.
Better life. I'm giving you a better life because of what happened. But if you're going and you're getting IVF, you know what I'm saying, for a child that's yours, but you choose for them not to have a father,
this child is yours, and you choose for them not to have a father, like that's a completely different. I feel like that's a different ball game than a child understanding, like, hey, this is adoption. You know, I adopted you, but you know, it's because I wanted to give you a better life.
Yeah,
but that you're wrong
Let me
with that.
let me read the super chat real quick.
Definitely.
Let me read the super chat real quick. Mr. Gary Grant with the $5.50 super chat. It is wrong because 8 out of 10 children from single parents either end up in negative position, i.e., jail, prostitution, death. Dads are needed. Shout out to Will with the $10 super chat. Shout out my boy Rock in the chat. So,
Hey,
yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I wanted to tell P like 30 seconds ago, like me and you are like an anomaly, bro.
And yeah, I was just thinking that, bro.
But that's me and you. But if you could take it all back, wouldn't you would have rather have been raised by your mother and your father? If you could take it all back,
I think the honest answer would be obviously yes, but I don't even know enough about this nigga to know if he was gonna be a good father or not.
Okay,
so
okay. Now I do because like we were talking about earlier on the last question with the inconsistency, right?
Mm-hmm.
My pop, I ain't gonna bash his name. That was my dog at certain times, but he was inconsistent. He was in and out. But when he was in, that was my man. But when he wasn't, yo, where the fuck you at? Where you been at all this time? You know what I'm saying? Then you gonna just pop back up out of the blue. Then we build back up, we reconnect, and then you gone again for a long period of time. Like, bro, come on now, you're killing me now. What's going on with you?
So look at how that's sitting with you, bro. I don't have that same experience. I'm not sitting here going, damn, he wasn't around or he showed up every now and then. And like that shit don't bother me none. My homie, so real quick, my homie's pops passed away and he had a relationship like I did, maybe less than a month ago. And he said he was torn by it. And I've always thought about the process, like what, like God, the day it happens for him, I don't know how it's going to impact me. Like, am I even affected or impacted by it if he passes, when he passes? I don't have a relationship with him.
Nah,
nothing.
You won't be.
I don't know, bub. I'm way too fucking sensitive for that shit. I'm too emotional for that. Like, I don't know how I'm going to respond.
Yeah.
What would you choose for your own children, Chief?
I'm sorry?
What would you choose for your own children? Would you choose that they have a mother and a father in their life, or an experience that like what you had?
I would absolutely choose to have a mother and father life. But again, that's just, I've learned this about myself recently in therapy, that I tend to when negative components show up in my life, I tend to overcompensate for them. So in me not having a dad, like I'm taking this dad shit like to the next level almost because of like the trauma that brought in me. You know what I'm saying? But I realized in therapy, I learned that that's like a lot of shit that happens in my life that's negative. I tend to overcompensate for. So to your point, I would love for them to have a mother and father for sure, but I fucked that up already because I'm not either of my kids' moms. They have them, but we're not in the same household.
That's the point that Bub is trying to allude to, that innately what's best for you as a human being, and I think that's the point that he's alluding to. Yeah. That what's best for you is a mother and a father.
Okay, so I'm a single man with children. I'm not a single parent. I'm a single man with children, but I also adopted a 15-year-old 5 years ago. He's 20 now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a woman in my life to help me raise this young man. And he comes from all the shit that kids ain't supposed to come from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He needed someone to love him and give him some nuggets and some gems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And for that child, the best situation for that child is to not be in the foster system, but to be with you, the one person that cares about him, that's going to sow into his life. But ultimately, if you could choose the best option for him, you would choose a mother and a father. But we all know that people don't, that's not the experience that we all go through. So we can't pick and choose the situations that we go through in life. So based on his situation, the best thing for him was for you to carry him and bring him on. And that's best for him opposed to no one at all.
Yeah, but according to the question, I'm wrong for that.
No, you're not wrong for that. You're not wrong for that because you made a conscious decision based on a situation that had nothing to do with you or the child.
No. I
It's a situation where you could
didn't go out
choose.
looking for that, P. You didn't go out looking for that. It just happened. You didn't go
It
out
happened.
seeking it. It happened.
Yeah,
But
you did the right
the reality is based on the question. I made a choice to raise a child without a woman there, without a mother there.
You didn't seek it though. You didn't want to do it.
No. I don't disagree with you, Bob. But the question says choose and wrong.
And
I'm going based off the question. The question says, is he wrong? Is the woman wrong for choosing? I made a choice. So based on the answer to your question, based on the way you answered it, I'm wrong.
Yeah, that would he would be right on that. I think the adoption is giving people a scapegoat.
Yeah,
I think that's the one that the righteousness of adopting a child supersedes the best situation for any child to be raised in, which we know is a mom and Mary. Why the fuck? Why y'all keep doing that to me?
Go ahead.
This nigga. I'm gonna give you a noogie, girl. That wig gonna come. Oh man.
About to come off after this.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Oh, damn. Nah, I forgot. So but in terms of just the situation overall, we know a kid should be a mother with a mother and a father. But that righteousness of adopting, I think we don't want to shit on that at all. The real issue here is women living it out in the wrong way. You want to fucking go to carnival when you 20 to 30. You want to focus on your career 30 to 36. And now you can't have no goddamn kids. Now I don't know man wants you. So now you got to go to IVF and some other shit.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
I did it, nigga. I said it.
Don't do that because
So that's why can't I finish? I can't believe
what you're not gonna do is
I can't finish
Get him,
a
Alex.
sentence.
Get him, Alex. Get him.
I can't finish a sentence.
Between you and Gunny, not tonight. No, because 1 in 6
I can't
women-
finish a sentence.
No.
Nope.
Get her out of here. How about that? Yeah, can't finish a sentence.
That's cold.
Shit like that.
Yo.
Shit like that. Shit
Yo,
like that. Shit like that.
but yeah, I said it harshly, but what I really mean is like, yo, we make poor decisions and then we get to a particular point in life and want these things that we should have already been building and practicing upon. That's what I really mean. So y'all gotta we going about life the wrong way, but we said this a million times. So now you got to get some in vitro fertilization because now don't know nigga want to fertilize you because you focused on your career or some shit. Or you too busy traveling the world. He saw your Instagram and he ain't buying into that. Go ahead, Alex.
Thank you. What I was saying was that 1 in 6 women, and they believe the rates are actually higher, has issues with fertility. So you can't just sit there and say now that you're
At
older,
what age?
you don't have any kids.
At what age? I'm asking.
Infertility doesn't start at any age. A lot of women do not know that they have infertility issues until they're actually trying to have children. So it's very
You saying the age doesn't matter? The age doesn't matter, or are they starting when they 32? 35.
Age is
36.
not necessarily it may take you longer to get pregnant, but if you have an infertility issue, it doesn't matter what your age is. It does not matter. You have the issue.
Oh, you saying you're born like that?
Yes, most women do not know that they have an issue until they're actually trying. So for you to sit there and say that they're trying to do all of this extra stuff, and then when they're ready to have a kid, they can't have one. That's not fair.
Oh no, they don't. No, not that they can't. They don't have a nigga to have one with. That's what I was addressing. Not if they got some biological shit fucked up. Now they don't have a person, a husband to have a child with. That's the problem. Because they live the life in the wrong way. They live the shit backwards. As opposed to being with a man early and then traveling the world with him, they wanted to travel the world by themselves and whore themselves out. And now they want a man, but it's too late. Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Oh yeah. You don't got a good answer for that.
No, I do got a good answer for that.
As smart as Alex is, she said no.
In the words of my man, I'm kicking on y'all ass.
Hey, Chief, give me some, Chief.
No doubt.
Let nigga stop playing with me. Hey, you see, Asia kept that motherfucking mic on mute. She knew she had no.
No, I'm trying to slow the form, but I can no.
That's more what the question was, not the fact that the woman can't have no children.
Yeah.
That she don't have the sperm to produce.
But I spoke on that because of Camp's comment before. But to the point of with IVF and women, they're choosing IVF because maybe they don't have a partner, or because maybe they don't have a suitable partner because maybe they were focusing on school, and that is a big issue in the Black community. We are talking go to school, get a good job, then you worry about your man later. If that's a thing, we are taught as Black women that you don't need a man. But then the reality is, to your point, as we get older, our options become slimmer, and we are running against the biological clock. And it's just like, you know what, IVF may be my only option. So people are doing that. I personally don't think it's wrong. However, you'd be a fool. And I love what Q said in saying, like, when you're choosing to go into this, it's important that you have some type of structure. Who is going to be the male in this life? Because as amazing as you may be as moms, you cannot take the place of a man. You cannot take the place of a father. And I do think that is equally as important, but I don't think they're wrong for choosing to go the route of IVF or adoption or whatever the etc. was.
They wrong.
Yeah, that's a contradiction.
Hold on, Gunny.
That was just a huge contradiction.
Hold on, Gunny. Don't make me put you in the back.
Sorry.
I'm on the ass right now. Goddamn it, that's wrong. A brother or a goddamn step cousin ain't a dad. All right, and everybody say I'm not done. God damn it, long ass neck. Yo, and then the thing, I'm trying. Yo, I don't know how Chaotic stay in character. That nigga's amazing. Yo, dang, what the fuck was I about to say? Oh, and then all that village shit. If you have kids, you know it don't come to fruition like people say. Niggas don't show up. Don't nobody come and babysit. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all niggas be acting like you could be knocking.
Ain't even grandparent no more.
You knocking down your door to watch kids. Fuck out of here.
Can't get a sitter to save my life.
Like
y'all got more than one.
Yeah.
Question. Because
Go ahead, Alex. Be careful. Be careful. I'm on fire.
Because you have a son, and you all went out to go ahead to become parents. Do you ever worry about, are we raising him to be a man? Like, is he missing something? Because we're women. He doesn't have, I don't know your personal business, but because he doesn't have
who you talking to, Alex? Sorry.
To Q.
Oh. Go ahead.
No, so my whole theory when it came to my son was making sure that he had a positive male figure for all the things that come with that extra masculine energy. It didn't really have anything to do with somebody teaching him how to be a man. Like, he learned how to pee at the house, and between that and daycare, because they were teaching that, and there's boys, and there's certain things that he would just learn from his male peers anyway. So even his mannerisms, he wasn't in a feminine way. You know what I mean? But there was issue with that. And so I will be honest about this. The person that was chosen to be his godfather actually did less with him and did more feminine things in his presence than he was. And the guy was married to a woman. So if this was a hetero couple, he spent a lot of time like sitting him in front of the TV and shit. And it was actually me who was taking my son to the baseball field and letting him run bases and throwing football and teaching him how to play basketball and teaching him how to ride a bike. So all those stereotypical things that people think that when
that's
you a thug. Huh?
That's because you a thug.
No, that's because I give a fuck. But yeah, stereotypical things that people think that males offer to boys. Sometimes it's a crapshoot. You know what I mean? I had the best intentions, but the nigga was mad feminine. Like, you cooking in front of him and shit. He could get that at home. How could you clean the house all day?
Here we go.
Like that.
And then that cook again.
So stereotypical meaning learning how to ride a bike and learning how to pee. Like, stereotypical means that you don't believe that those are the things that men like. What do you mean by stereotypical?
You so concerned with asking questions, you get caught up in your own shit.
I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I really don't want to.
Sorry.
I don't want to verbally attack you. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get an understanding of where you're coming from. But some of the things that you're saying, you said teaching him how to pee, and then you said riding a bike, and then you said stereotypical. But those things are not associated with teaching a young boy how to be a man.
Right, but
that has nothing to do with being a man.
So those are things that I've heard women use as examples of when they want their sons to know how to be a man. So I'm just going off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's certainly more to it, man.
Right.
But women can't raise no men. I'm just gonna tell y'all that straight up. He ain't gonna let him just cry the whole time. Nah, fuck that.
So what you just said, if that's your example, then that doesn't make any sense as to why women can't raise men.
No, that was just I did tell them that, but that's just a little thing.
What is it that
This nigga's toxic as fuck.
Say it again, please say it again.
A father would offer.
Look at Asia. Look at Asia. You so go ahead, Chief. Say it again, Chief. He's so toxic because he said his son can't cry. Man,
Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come.
It's true. That's how babies
the
communicate.
gay was toxic as fuck.
What is it that a father would offer that would matter in making a boy a man? Because I hear guys say that a lot, like boys need their fathers to become men because a woman can't teach a boy how to become a man. So what is it that men offer that is the big difference?
I think without even having to identify certain whatever the specific thing is, I just think being able to emulate what represents a man for the children, they model after what they see. So when they see you moving and carrying yourself as a man, it's a powerful thing. Even if it's just the way you love their mother, they get to see that and they get to emulate that.
Okay, so but when you say modeling a man and how you love their mother, like what is it that makes that a man? Is it void like male tendencies, or is it a man?
I think it's all of the above. It's all encompassing. I think it's all encompassing. Encompassing for sure.
Amen, though. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't get that part, but
amen.
How you lead in the home, how you handle business, how you provide, how you protect, all those things. The male children, they look at the example of how you're supposed to be as a male, and then they emulate that and they mimic that when they become adults. The same way the women is able to in the home how to be feminine, how to do this, that, and the third, or whatever, and just to try to keep it elementary.
Those are men that
say in my situation, you're raised in a house where your mom is like one of your moms is like super tomboy, so she does a lot of things that most men do, and that's your example. Like I'm making you get out there and fucking pick up the leaves, and I'm teaching you how to use the weed whacker and the fucking lawnmower. Like we're not sitting around. So is that like man shit?
It carries an essence of it, but you're still not a man for him to look after. You know what I'm saying? But you make a good point when Gunny made light of it, but to use something as simple as peeing.
Yeah.
A child, a boy, a boy child would eventually go to the bathroom and sit down.
Yeah.
No,
because he's mimicking what he sees. He doesn't know any better.
Right.
If you don't teach him, his first time going to the bathroom, he's going to sit down. I promise you.
But you're saying mimicking what he sees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a strong thing. But what about what he's being taught?
True. I mean, again, I was going to ask Bub this question, but I don't agree with what Ham said in terms of a woman not being able to raise a man. Bub, that's just my theory because of who I am.
So what he's being taught, that's where the man comes in, because my son, like he said, like my son, when I was raising him, he was sitting on the toilet to go pee. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't until my husband where he was standing up, and that's because I don't have a dick to pull out.
But you don't need that
sometimes.
But you don't need that.
You don't.
You don't need that to teach him to pee standing up.
Yeah. How else is he gonna learn if I don't?
If I'm telling you as a mother who didn't have a male in the house to teach him that he learned that from nobody having a penis to tell him that, it's possible.
Question on that: How many times should he shake?
That's something again. If he let me land. That's something again. If he's using the bathroom in school, he's around males. He's not going to the women's bathroom. Those are things that he picks up along the way. That's some of that influence again that he picks up from his peers. Mm-hmm. Just like how we talk. If you notice, kids can come out of a house where the two parents have a Southern accent, but completely articulate themselves in a way and over enunciate because you learn how to speak from your peers. So you're not getting everything from home.
Yeah.
Right. And
Gary,
like your son didn't
let me
learn how
read
to.
this super chat real quick, Mary. You can jump in. Mr. Gary Grant with the $2 super chat. Fathers teach structure and responsibility. I think Bub was mentioning that. He said discipline.
Right, but you could get that from a mom too.
Kind of, but not really.
Nobody's really saying anything.
Oh, it's Mary's turn.
So let me say this. Oh,
No, it's Mary's turn.
Now go ahead. That was just my thing. She had mentioned that he learned how to use the bathroom at school and at home, so he was seeing somebody else do it. My son didn't actually go to school until he was in kindergarten.
Right.
So he was fully potty trained by 3, but he was sitting down. Because I can't, like I said, like I can't whip it out. So my husband being in his life, he helped him teach him that he might have yelled at him a lot about it, but he learned how to pee standing up.
Right. So I was like, he corrected how your son was peeing, but you're giving him credit for teaching him that. What I'm saying is my son was not taught that from having the guy in the house.
Well, so Q, do you think that women go ahead.
No, so I'm gonna say, because based on Q's point, anything we say for the most part, she's gonna be able to say like they can learn it without a man. But the thing is, they need to see something that looks like them doing these things, because you don't look like me. So it's only so much that I'm gonna be able to receive from you, period. So having the man in there showing the structure, actually doing a thing, it'll be received well, because, oh, you look like me and this is what you are doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a cow trying to teach a goat something, like, you know what I'm saying? Or a boy being raised by wolves, whatever that show is. It's like, yeah, I still don't fit in with you. You're saying I'm supposed to be doing these things, but I can't believe it, because you are not the same thing that I am. Mm-hmm. So you can't teach me to be it.
Which is why the importance of having a positive male figure in his life was a thing. So I'm saying,
no, but it's still not the same as having somebody. But a positive figure, though, is not the same as having me there with him every day, where he's seeing how I sleep, how I wake up, how I conduct myself on a regular basis. And then even the discipline piece, because a role model can't discipline like I'm going to be able to discipline. A role model can only do so much.
That's a good point.
Right, but at the same time, again, you could get that discipline plan from your mom. I think you guys are speaking to the women that do carry that extra feminine trait, where, like, for example, with his mom, she would coddle him. He could cry with her. I didn't allow that shit. You're going to calm down, you're going to breathe, and then you're going to tell me what's wrong. So people will call that toxic masculinity. That wasn't my way. However, he did have that balance in the household, because that nurturing was important. So that part that he could get from his mom at times, I felt like that was important too. So it's like, the other thing is like, there's just, I don't know, there was just so many things that I didn't do like most women. Like, it's not like all this room to just be super soft and super feminine, and you get to do all these things, and you're gonna see me doing these things that are very feminine. Like, nah, you're gonna see some real shit, because again, naturally I'm a tomboy. It's not like nobody's reaching. It's not like nobody in the house thought they was a man and they wasn't. Even down to Hamp even knows the conversations I would have with him, where I would tell him 2 women being together is not natural. 2 men being together is not natural. But this is a choice that we've made. That I ran my house way different than what most people would think the average lesbian couple does.
But Q, that's why you're an unfair example, because you're such an outlier with a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, because it's a real example. I just think also with boys, he get a point where he be like, nigga, I'll beat your ass. That's what you be saying in your head about your dad, or especially you got 2 moms. Like, I give y'all niggas a noogie in this bitch. Like, that's what, you know what I mean? When they get 17 years old. You know,
and I'll be ready for all the smoke. Trust me when I tell you.
Yeah. So, I think that Mary, you on mute. Hey, just stop all that fucking yawning and shit.
It's 12 o'clock. Like, what do you mean?
So the outliers.
I was gonna say though, like you were saying, like Q's kind of the outlier, because I'm sure she would consider herself more masculine. And it's just not being like too feminine, because I'm not one of those feminine, emotional, I'm not one of them either. But it's just a lot of shit that I just couldn't teach my son.
Mm-hmm. And right now, look at you pregnant. Like, they know that that's a woman thing.
I think that's a secret, Q. I think that's supposed to be a secret.
My bad.
Wow.
But I'm just
wow. Wow. Can't mute that part. Oh, it's too late now. It's live.
Yeah, it's over.
Hey yo, but how come Q could sit in her outlying space, but y'all won't let me sit in my outlying space when we talked about women being able to raise a man? I'm a little offended by that.
You're not a girl.
You know that, Chief?
Say what?
Mad double standards on this podcast.
You know. Look here, and now here she go. And then when I fire her ass for being passive aggressive, Alex gonna cape for her, and then all the comments gonna disagree. Chief, you're not a girl. You don't get grace like women. You know that. We talk
Good
about
point.
that.
Touche.
Well, how come I don't get grace? Ham, you bite my head.
Dude, you saw the dumb shit you say. I just nod. And then I clickbait that shit up and let the world see.
Listen, we gotta get you, Asia. You be on point sometime, but you is the most flip floppingest.
Oh my God.
That's not true. I definitely don't agree with that. It is providing clarity when I'm
no, Asia. Stop.
That's why I be flip like I can't.
Yeah. Stop.
But you got it. I'm gonna stop and put back on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, because you should change your name to Love Windshield Wiper. You go back and forth every the shit is amazing. I don't know how you do it with a straight face. you and Chaotic need to get your
you
own
don't let
show.
me finish my thoughts, right? Answer their questions, and it sounds like I'm flip flopping, but I'm not. Let me have the floor like you do everybody else, and you'll get a full stream of thought.
Man. And also the other thing is, I timed it. I'm gonna put a timer on how long you be talking, and then I'm gonna have a count of how many times you say the same thing.
Do it to everybody, not just me, because you did it
Yeah, specifically you and Mary will say the same thing over and over.
Do it to everybody on this joint.
No, because they don't say the same thing over and over.
They don't be saying anything of substance most of the time. So,
Right.
look,
Now everybody under attack.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Off. I'm getting tired. So that's what you gonna get.
Wow. Oh, man, don't insult everybody. Don't insult Alex. She always on your side.
I knew she wasn't talking about me and him. Me and Asia good, okay? I wasn't offended.
I always like
We
what
good.
you say sometimes, Alex.
We good. Me and Alex good.
Damn, man, that's crazy. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Did everybody get to answer this? Yeah.
3 times.
Everybody's good. Look, see how she go. Now look, I jump on her ass. Now it's me. Hey man, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Oh shit. Big Mike Brown came through. The most flip floppy person.
I've been waiting on you, Mike Brown, all night long.
Damn, man. The show been interesting, man. I think this was a different from the last couple shows. I think a lot of gems though. I think this is something I still need clarity for sure. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button if you can. If you just come in the stream, we appreciate y'all. That helps the channel the most, man. We growing, man. So shit is dope. I don't really fuck with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. Q. Final thought.
I think it's kind of fucked up that we couldn't really talk about the women who were using IVF because they had careers and other things going on, or they couldn't have children. And so Hemp tried to shut that down, but they want to use statistics to talk about wheelchair niggas who can't have babies.
Oh, shut what down, nigga?
This nigga's cold-blooded.
I literally said that. I'm the one that brought up those points. And then Alex and I had a debate about it. And then we clarified. Mary jumped in. So who shut that down when we were having that conversation about the career and doing it the wrong way? I'm the one that said it.
I shut that down because I wasn't talking about them people. I'm talking about
No, Mary. I'm talking to Q. Who shut what down? Go ahead.
Yeah, this was my final thought, nigga.
We back. We ain't doing final thoughts right now.
You know what I mean?
We ain't doing final thoughts right now. Nah. As much as y'all cut me off, nah. So can you take that back? Because I literally addressed that point myself directly.
That was
say
my
sorry. Say sorry, because I say sorry to you if I'm wrong. Go ahead.
I apologize, but that's still my final thought.
No, say sorry. That's more personal.
Him. I apologize, nigga.
If you love me, you'll say. I'm gonna put on the hot seat. Look, if you love me, you say sorry.
That's manipulation.
No, that's gaslighting like a motherfucker.
It is. That's manipulation.
Look at Puff Daddy with the red hair. Go ahead. What you saying? Oh my god, man.
We
That's
having too
fucked
much
up.
fun up.
Huh?
We be having too much fun up here. That's the problem.
Yeah, man. All right. Q good on her fight. Well, no, Q, because I need them to be together, so you gotta do it again. I don't really fuck with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. But I rotate it. Love. Final thought.
It's been a while since I've done the final thought. Sorry. This was a great show. I missed everyone. Hope everyone missed me. Love is love. Be great, and sky's the limit.
Word. Bub.
Yo, anybody out there torn if they should have kids or not, don't fucking do it. Don't have no kids. And with that being said, if you decide to do so, as these kids grow, all the decisions they make, good or bad, that shit gonna land on you and your life gonna be ruined. Get it?
Oh my god.
Damn.
Word. Chief.
I'm gonna refer to this old meme I saw on social media, and it said, for clarification, the term "fuck them kids" is an inside joke by actual full-time and present parents. To the people without kids who take offense and attempt to tell you it's wrong, fuck you and them kids.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Word.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Mary.
I'm sleepy as hell, but be the best parent that you could be. It takes a lot of work, so make sure you choose the right person to have your kids with, and you choose the right timing as well.
Word. Mr. White.
Kids are a blessing, man. Definitely a gift. So make sure you have time to raise them. Them early years are crucial. So you can't have it all. So you can't have the career and be present. That's when you have the most time to shape their thoughts and literally create and drop things in them that will take them, far. The man definitely needs to be in the home. There is no replacement for it, period. And ain't nothing wrong with a woman adopting a kid, yo. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go through adoption, cool. But that veto first, whatever, all that, don't do all that, though. That's it.
Word. Gunny.
This panel is a great example of Black people looking in the mirror. Let's continue to do that. The enemy of progress is real. Let's stop focusing on white supremacy and look in the mirror.
Word. Alex.
Choosing to be a parent is a lifelong decision. It's a personal one. So be mindful of who you choose to become parents with. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. It's on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you can go listen to your podcast. It's there. It drops every Monday at 5 a.m.
Word. Q.
Yo, shout out to Gunny coming with all the smoke tonight, pun intended. Shout out to everybody on the panel and the super college niggas in the super chat.
Word. Now, I think a lot of awesome things were discussed tonight. The key point that Q brought up at the end that we did address, but I think we could have went more in depth, is the fact that do it right. And then if you need to lean on some other whatever it's called, things that help you, IVF or adopting a kid, by all means, right? But at least bring that child into a circumstance that is whole and that is nuclear. Because I think the kids deserve to have two parents, so I think that is the key, and those kids that are in the system deserve to have a loving family. But when you bring them in, make sure that family isn't broken. To your best of your ability, make sure you're not by yourself, man or woman. Because you need that nature and nurture. You need that discipline and guidance from both parties. You know what I mean? Dope show, though. Hey, Mary, shout out to you for this topic. It was good. Relax, play. See, that's why you.
That's why she like she is now.
Oh my god. Oh, Mary, that ain't shit, Mary.
I'm about to log off, y'all.
Hey, that'll teach you. Don't get pregnant no more. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.